Alright, I clicked the wrong one. Fuck it, we're doing this live. You don't get an intro. Sod you all. Sod you all. No, hang on. I've messed up. I changed everything. So you just have to wait. You have to wait. God damn it. Hello everyone. Welcome to episode 45 of Pariahs. So, since starting Chronicles yesterday properly, I tweaked some settings with OBS, and the things that I'm used, that I've been clicking for the last 3 years of doing, D&D, has moved around. So you got a sneak early peek of me there, which could have been a hell of a lot more awkward than it was. Let's put it that way. But on that, cheers, welcome in for everyone, and yeah, Sunday. Yeah, muscle memory is rough. It really is. It really is. But with that said, welcome in everyone. Episode 45. Of this never-ending story. Good thing Haddish. Is it though? We were talking the other day, right, of a D&D hot tub stream. Oh, I can't think of anything worse. Can't think of anything worse. Right. Hopefully Vanya's not heard that, because she'll probably have something to say about the matter. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. How are we all?
I mean, we're calming down now and mocking you in general, but you nearly had a riot on your hands. So.
Fair. Ah, son of a bitch. In that case, go on, Scott.
I just said that's right. That's all.
Can you do me a quick favour, my dude?
Yes.
Never mind. That's fine. I was going to say I've got you on 200%, and you were quiet as all hell. But
I was specifically being lower than I needed to be. Trust me, I just need to be like where I am right now and speak.
Ah, perfect. Because I did fuck about with my audio settings yesterday due to trying to standardise things a bit more since we're, anyway, Chronicles, Pariahs, blah, 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 blah. Cypher.
Oh, yeah. I got away with it yesterday.
No.
Alright, last time on Pariahs, we started off with Jon Cypher making something useful out of something dead. Well, he's not useful yet, because I don't know if he can actually move things or pick things up, so now he's just annoying. Because only Cypher can understand him at the moment. So now that place is just haunted.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yay for Timothy, second lease of life.
Yeah.
And then everybody milled around, did their own things, and then the plot for murder was afoot. But before that, the great detective Teresa and her notebook outfoxed Vanya.
False. That reminds me, I need to open my actual notebook Google Doc. Because I'm actually writing things down every time I say something in character. And you'll never get to see it, Jump.
I'm already in it and looking at it.
So that has become a thing, much to everybody's amusement. And then it was on to the matter of murder, and we were expecting lots of violence, and we only got a little bit. Which was surprising, because, well, not surprising when we got there and everybody was high as fuck. The only two people that seemed cognizant were the one vexed fella that was actually running the place, and the one guard on the door that was just like, no, I don't touch your stuff. I don't give a fuck. Place a shithole. Yeah. So we kind of literally just walked in and murdered a guy, and nobody batted an eyelid, and we're like, yeah, well, I guess that happened.
I mean, nobody saw it happen.
No, but the big rolly head that came rolling out the doorway after he'd done the job was a big. True. Yeah. To be fair, I think he could have done it in front of them, and it'd still been like, oh, well, that happened.
Yeah. Look at that! Look at that melon. It's rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's exactly what it would have been like.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we did actually manage to get something good out of it. Not all good, because fucking sex addicts tend to spend money on useless shit like stupid hats. So we have a little bit of coin to drop off, but that's all right, because we've got to go back, because Vanya experimented on half the guards to get them clean. I do believe there's 6 unconscious people in a heap in the basement.
Locked somewhere.
Yeah, locked somewhere. Don't worry about it. But we did get the one person that was actually trying to do his job on side.
Do you remember his name?
Well, I can't remember his name.
Because I saw you were trying to...
Killian,
yes.
Killian.
I remember that shit.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
DM makes a quick note. No, I'm joking.
Well, I only remembered it because it's the name of a character in one of my favorite novel series, and Lee probably knows what I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm. And isn't it in your notebook? I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. No, so, yes, he joined the fold and will be our man on the ground that runs everything. So, nothing much will change for him apart from a proper building to do it from.
Mm-hmm.
And not drunk guards. So yeah. So today we have on the agenda, go back, check that people aren't dead.
Yeah.
Give Killian a big wad of cash to pay off the smugglers for their last shipment, because he said that they had to be paid, or it'd be his head, and we were like, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, the Iron Hands are the last to be dealt with.
Yes. The Iron Hand Gang, the last bastion of potential resistance in the Piker District. Kelly.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Who's this? Amateur hour?
I know. So yeah, if I remember rightly, you did return back to the Folly after locking them in the basement.
We did, as shown by yesterday's episode. Of,
Yes.
Kills Another Soil.
So, in that case, then, what I think we'll do is we'll pick up on the early morning. If anyone wishes a short rest, you may have such, considering you got back to the Folly and you would have had a night to rest up. As for one, yeah, treat yourself. In fact, I can probably clear out all of that.
Yeah.
I should get into the habit of doing that, really.
Probably.
There we go. All right. So, let's begin. With all of you returning to the Folly and resting in whatever ways or means you deem fit, as morning breaks, you all begin to move around and do, conduct any morning rituals or jobs, tasks that you have before you all meet up in the Folly proper. It would be here that Vanya, Desmond, Reza, as you're entering the Folly, you would more than likely see Garrett, Cypher, and Falco at the bar, waving off a somewhat interesting bunch of individuals out of the door. Falco turns his head to look at Garrett and Cypher. So, chances? What we're thinking?
I mean, you've got some definite meat on the bones on some of them, so 50-50.
What, you like 50-50 as in they'll get the job done, 50-50, or 50-50 half of them will come back and the other half will be, dead?
No, 50-50 they'll get the job done. I think they're capable. I just don't know if they're smart enough to get the job done.
Aye. Hey, that reminds me of a little tale, by the way. You know that doctor, the brains. He got lost, just trying to head south for those fucking for those logs the other day. 8 hours. 8 hours it took them to get to where they needed to be down south.
How did he manage to get lost? You can see the forest from anywhere in the city.
Falco grins before shrugging his shoulders. Well, that's sort of one of the reasons why I thought, go and grab that elf, man. He seems to be a little bit more with it in regards to knowing his way around places, but personality leaves a lot to be desired.
It's not his personality that I'm worried about.
And you say he's a doctor. If I ever get injured, please take me to somebody else.
Falco slowly nods, trying to suppress an amused grin. Alright, so what's on the agenda today? Is there anything in particular that you need me to do, since you're probably out and about? Or if not, then, well,
I don't think there's anything new to give to you to do. Just more of the same, really.
alright. And if that's the case, then I'll see about filling out the last few work placements for, or contracts for the other shite that needs to be doing. Hopefully that won't take them too long to go and, deal with a few of the ruffian wankers and pikers. So, with that, Falco motions to the papers on his desk and then begins to tidy them up. Probably at this point noticing Reza, Vanya, and Desmond. Oh, morning.
Morning.
Vanya approaches flustered.
Hi, Desmond. Vanya. Yeah.
Have you seen one of the tables? This mark? I mean, I thought we weren't letting weapons in whenever people come in. Like, I've cleaned this place top to bottom, and it looks like somebody has put an axe into the table. Can we not have anything nice around here?
Reza pulls out her notebook.
I think that was actually done with a spoon. We've got a big lad who got a little too engrossed in his soup earlier.
Are you trying to eat the table? What the?
Hey, look, you know what the people like around here. Some of them are characters. Hey.
Was it that big fellow? What was his name? Fudd?
The old Chudmeister. I might have. Aye, it was.
Well, if he keeps thudding my tables, we're gonna have a problem.
Falco at this point is with the bundled paper and journals in arm. I guess on that I'm gonna head upstairs and sort through all this. I'll dock it from Chad's pay. Hey, we've got Dwayne. Can't she, rustle? And Falco points around the tavern. What about up here? Are we wanting to, get some nice deck chairs or something a little snazzier for up here, or
Maybe something a bit harder wearing for up here.
like fucking steel?
Maybe tables made out of stone.
Would make it less flammable too.
I like your thinking.
Well, that makes me feel better, Falco. That's a good way to look at it. We can just enhance and make things better and stronger. And better.
If you think about it, Vanya, stone is more difficult to repair than wood.
Yeah, especially if you smash the corner of a stone table with somebody's head.
Yeah, also, it could be prone to staining depending on what type of stone it is. It could be more porous. Imagine all the beer stains and food stains and bodily fluid stains.
Oh, I was thinking, like, what if you got blood on it? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
No stone, then. Right?
We'll circle back.
Sure. Well, on that, I'm gonna. I'll good luck in whatever, whatever it is you're doing, and Garrett, later, if possible, may need a bit of a chat. I may need a bit more coin, depending on how this thing goes. You know how we agreed on like 10 copper for the barrels? I may have accidentally said silver.
Let's hope they don't bring back too many then, Falco. I'd hate to have to take it out of your wages, especially after you've had that pay rise and all.
Aye. I'm so used to dealing with silver these days that, it slips the mind sometimes. Slips the mind.
A big spender.
I go under my belt and pull out a small coin pouch and just toss it to Falco.
With his one free hand, the book and papers under one arm, he catches it and flashes a bit of a an awkwardly shy grin. Sure, should be enough, thanks.
Every time I wake up, a different employee wants money out of me. Francis with a pot, you with barrels now. Christ, I don't know what. Just please don't send Yulin and Lila after me. I don't think I can afford it.
Garrett, I could use a new dress.
And Garrett just chooses not to hear that and carries on.
The tavern's completely silent. No one says a word.
Vanya's just gonna still just stand there staring at him, just hoping he will eventually respond. But she makes a mental note of, I'll bring it up later.
Okay, shall we get on with today's business then?
Please, before anyone else costs me money.
Speaking of, don't you have to pay off that fella for Piker?
Oh no! Garrett starts swearing in silver.
Reza raises an eyebrow and says, surely you can do better than that.
I was brought up better than to use such vile language, don't you know?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Then switches to undercommon and lets rip with a completely foul
string of its expletives.
You know, you really can't tell when people are swearing in different languages.
It's more about the way they're saying it than what they're actually saying.
Right?
How much money do I need to give this chap in Piker?
I do believe it was somewhere in the region of 170 silver.
Close to 2 gold, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
Okay. In response to your earlier question, Vanya, no.
Okay. And she just kind of hangs her head a little bit.
Well, while we're there, and you can check on her first string of experiments. Yeah, we'll not count Timothy as the first string, right?
Her head pops up. She's excited again. Yeah. Oh, you're right, Cypher. Desmond, you're coming too, right? Because like we were gonna see how successful it was, and then we were gonna move some barrels, and then we were gonna like, test it again, and then we're gonna,
Well,
it's gonna be massive.
that was part of it, but also we had to see to it that Killian doesn't get murdered by his suppliers.
Oh yeah, that too.
And I should think we ought to go with Killian to pay down that, because I'm not under the impression that the people that he's buying from are going to be willing to lose their source of income or their shipping route.
Yes, I should hate to lose him now. He seems to be
Capable.
the most capable person that we've met in Piker.
That was how I saw him too. I can be ready whenever we want to head out.
Same.
I'm just gonna trot off and find some money.
It's at that moment where you hear the kitchen door creak open and the toothless, beaming smile of the somewhat haggard Francis pokes his head round the door. Can I have a like 2 silver?
What do you want money for now? I bought you a pod yesterday.
Yeah, well, I got some meat. I got a big slim meat, right? And I thought, if it's a good bit of meat, then maybe we'll get something special to go with it. Maybe like a few herbs and things. I thought I'm going to have a little bit of a try out of the market roll. Yeah, you want to try it? It's good meat. It's good meat.
Where did you get this meat from?
Big lad out back. Big, shoulda. Butcher boy.
Butcher, you say? What sort of meat did he bring? Is it boar or
Snail.
snail?
Yeah. And you just see you see Francis just pop his head back into the kitchen, and a moment later, over his shoulder is this giant, slimy, leathery-looking slab of slug. Sorry, snail. Yeah, look. He slaps it a couple of times.
On second thoughts, here's 2 silver. You're going to want a lot of herbs to make that edible.
He hoists it up, wiggles it around a little bit in front of you. Slaps it a couple more times. Yes, thank you. There you go.
Now Garrett the Pauper goes down to the Undercroft, to his secret stash. Opens the alcove hidden by the
Oh, the
blackthorn bush.
I
I think what it's called then. It's my own name. and opens the little cash box that he's got hidden in there. Scoops a load of silver into his pouch, looks over his shoulder to make sure no one's there, and then closes it all up again.
And with that, Garrett the Pauper returns back to the folly.
If they knew about it, they'd want to spend it.
Yeah, I think you're going to need some more coin, folks. You're bleeding pretty rapidly.
That's fine. I'm gonna start charging for this snail stew. It'll be grand.
Oh dear. All right, so
Crustacean soup.
I mean, yeah. We'll have to see what he does with it.
We'll give it some fancy name from the Barak Empire, and it'll be grand.
We could call it like escargot or something like that.
Escartugo.
Ooh.
I'm really glad I don't have to eat right now.
You eat
Okay, so-
snails? Sorry, go ahead, Garrett.
Does anyone else have any preparations to make before we leave?
No, I've been up for hours, ready to go.
Yep. Timothy's all sorted. He's wandering around downstairs. It's good.
Marvelous.
I'm good to go as long as, Desmond and Cypher are there because, they're part of my, helping me with my experiment. They're not part of my experiment. That's not what I meant. No, I'm good.
I'm ready to go.
Then to Piker them.
All right.
And we're off.
With that, you depart the folly, leaving Francis to concoct whatever vile stew he's been experimenting with in the kitchen with the snail meat that was recovered. Falco, left to his own devices, upstairs to plot out the upcoming jobs and tasks for the contracted workforce. You step out into the pouring rain of Novostoya, and again, by this point, it's just been either drizzle or rain for the last 2 weeks. Typically, you're aware that, it shouldn't last much longer before the skies have bled themselves dry. Perhaps another 5, 6, 7 days max before the dry but humid atmosphere will return to the city streets. Regardless, though, you begin the trawl through lower streets, eventually reaching the Piker district. It's only been a day since you cut the head off the snake at the Verdant Posse, and so signs of any recuperation, reconstruction of the district is nowhere to be seen. There are still a multitude of small peddlers who are no doubt pushing the Obsidian Veil on top of a mounting pile of what can really only be described as living corpses for those who are on this narcotic. Where's your first stop?
It'll be at the old Verdant Posse's hideout, right? I think that's where he was going to stay, and that's where the test subjects are. So 2 birds. one stone.
Oh, dear me. As you begin to traverse through the narrow alleys, shit-stained cobbles, and general filth of the Piker district, you eventually arrive outside of the small residential building that had been converted into the Verdant Posse's hideout. Glancing up and down the street, there's no signs of any from the posse. The usual green armbands nowhere in sight. No guard. But the door is well and truly locked.
Desmond, knock on the door.
All right, then. Desmond will ramp on the door a little bit more forcefully than he has to.
Proper policeman's knock.
Yeah. I don't think I had a portrait for Killian, did I?
You did.
You did, yeah.
Why has it not saved it? That's annoying. Alright. Talking with yourself 2 seconds. As you begin to, you rap on the door, you begin to hear the sound behind of someone slowly making their way over.
Well,
That'll do.
That worked, I think.
As the steps become to grow louder from behind the door, you hear a sound of a lock being turned, a wooden beam being shifted, and this is now Killian. Killian pokes his head around the corner with a bit of a inquisitive look across his face. Oh, it's...
What's that look like?
Oh, coming out of the rain. He swings the door open.
all right, then.
Can we sense anything like odd or with his behavior?
Oh, me an insight check, Vanya. And probably Cypher, because he asked, what's that look for?
Insight, yeah.
If you don't mind. He seems on edge. That's all I can really give you for that. And he definitely seems on edge, and the bags under his eyes seem to be a little darker, as if he's not slept.
Is
So-
there
So go on. No, go on.
I was gonna say, as we're we can tell that with him, do we see anything like different in the room? Maybe like, has he barricaded anything, or is things like shuffled around?
No, as you step into the into the entrance room, the door to the base, or the door to the corridor that leads to the basement, has got a couple of wooden beams that have been slid across to barricade it. So those who are in the basement can't get out. The table that's off to the side has a multitude of books, parchments. There's an abacus along with a few other items such as an inkwell, a feathered pen. All of them splayed across the table. To the point where he's even taken 2 crates, put them alongside the chair next to him, put a plank across it, and that's now also covered in paperwork. More like maps of the area.
What do we have here then?
Oh, fucking so, obviously, there were a few things that I needed to sort out, right? Paperwork, get things in order, full transparency and all that. Make sure that you know what you get yourselves in for. And anyway, long story short, been up all night doing that. Other issue is the barricades too. Right, that one. Our companions in the basement, they got a bit leery last night. After they woke up, they threw themselves around like absolute crazy things, screaming and shouting about they were boiling from the inside. And after a while, that lasted for a couple of hours before they, I assume they fell asleep. Didn't want to check it out. Anyway, other issue. Obviously, a couple of the smaller dealers came around, knocking on the old door for goods. Had to send the first few away. They weren't happy. Word got passed around that, we needed to start clearing out stuff. So they made a bit of a raid on the one of the other warehouses. The big one. It takes a piece of parchment, slides it towards you. Main warehouse is where most of the stuff is stashed before being handed off to peddlers and the smaller stock rooms, right? Usually there's a fair whack of gear in there, but since we didn't have it here and no one... Erden was indisposed, some of the smaller vendors may have gone down there to start picking out whatever barrels they could, so... whatever's left, I'm not sure. It might be a lot. Depends on whether Azan and his crew have kept things under wraps. But as far as I'm aware of, word of Leandon has been, I've not said out.
Hopefully we can keep the news of his demise under wraps until the supplies in the district run out.
Alright, and I dare say that it'll be, again, I ain't visited the warehouse in about a week or so I'm not sure what's there. Depends on what's been taken by some of the smaller dealers, if any has, for that matter. But what I can tell you is this delivery that we'll be picking up later, if that's not fed to the populace, then I can't see this lasting any more than a week. There'll be a lot of downers out there. Oh, a lot of downers.
Yes, and we've dispatched some contractors to collect as much as possible from one way or another.
All right. Oh. You don't fuck about, do you?
No.
Nothing is ever done by sloth.
It's a damn shame, really, because I was quite enjoying just being a bit of a sloth and getting paid for it. Obviously, that's not going to work now, but it's intriguing, interesting times ahead, so... Anyway, questions. I'm sure that you've got things for me since you're here bright and fucking early.
Well, we've dealt with Rockfist. The Verdant posse is now history.
All right.
It just leaves one more group.
All right. The Earl of Ironhand and her little uprising rebels, as they fucking want to call themselves.
Yes.
The wild cards.
Mm-hmm.
We need the tradespeople back at their trades and not attacking wardens. Because without trades, we're never going to rebuild Pike.
Aye. And granted, you know, that it's not exactly like they're skilled workers, but compared to everyone else in the fucking district, they may as well have the hands of gods. Half the people don't even know how to carve a basic fucking cup. Never mind a table.
Yes, I need them to be working once again. If, however, they don't join in our plans, we'll just have to remove them and import some more workers. That's an expense I'd rather not take, but I value peace more than a few semi-skilled workers.
Aye, of course. And you know, on the topic of expenses,
Go on. Everybody else this morning has been had their hand out.
are we still good for finishing the old deal with the Silent Road?
Put my hand under my belt and pull out a sizable coin purse and start jiggling it. With what's left here and this, we should more than cover it.
Aye. He nods slowly. Also, Lee, thank you for that. There we go. All right. Boom. Done. All right. Killian's back. As he should be.
Killian's a changeling! Kill him!
There can only be one.
There can be only one. I've made a note of that now, so that's. I'll update the context thing later on because I completely forgot to do that last session. I think I had a little too much to remember. But anyway, with this pouch in hand, Killian jingles it for a brief moment. That should be spot on. Thank you. Am I? How are you wanting to do?
We shan't change up the logistics of it. You will be the point. Go and make the deal. We, however, will be with you for moral support.
Also, interested in making contact with your contacts. We may have some contacts in common.
All right. Can't see that being a problem. You know, the Road are pretty simple folk in regard to, you know, you flash them some of the good stuff and they will happily listen, deal.
Oh, that's good to hear. Hate to have to do anything untoward to anyone today.
So, did I hear you say screaming and boiling from within?
Well, they were shouting that it felt like they were being boiled from inside out. Aye.
Guys, are we gonna go check that out first, or when we get back? And so Vanya has taken, because she's expecting they've probably exploded. So she's taken the back of her long skirt. She's like leaned all the way over, taken the back of her long skirt and pulled it through to the front of her legs and up and over, and is like tucking it into the front of the top of her dress to make it like where she's kind of got like some shorts going on.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to get the bottom of her dress covered in blood.
I've just had a horrible thought, actually. We should probably check on them now.
I'm ready.
Excuse us, Killian. We'll be right back. And Desmond's going to go to the door
Yep.
and listen at the door.
Roll me a perception check.
Yep.
Maybe you should be smelling at the door.
I don't hear anything. Well,
It is indeed quiet.
so, Vanya, here's the thing that just occurred to me. There was a literal chute to the sewers, and these people were frantic to escape. Where do you think they went?
You're right.
So now
If
there
they
are
haven't exploded.
drugged up
though.
subjects of your experiments in the sewers with cockroach beasts and monster beetles and
Well, the beasts are probably less hungry now.
Leandrin's corpse.
What if the beast ate the ones that were on the drugs? Are the beast on drugs now?
Well, I feel like that's just creeping the scope of your experiment.
But we could add the beasts into my. You're right. I'm going beyond scope here, but I do think, maybe there is someone still left down there.
Well,
Should
I'll handle it.
we?
Desmond's going to start pulling whatever's in the way out of the way.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to get his shield ready and have his mace in the other hand and just try to reach up and just try to swing the door open and stand ready in case anything tries to surge out.
You swing the door open, which reveals the long corridor. To the left is the doorway down into the basement, but the first thing that would catch your eye is at the end of the corridor, slumped against the wall, is the form of one of the guards. Or I say guards, one of the experiments, unmoving, but still in one piece.
All right. Well, just wait here, and if anything tries to run out, shut the door.
Desmond, can you smell?
He
I think we've had this.
can.
I think we've had this conversation before.
Like it. He can. He doesn't really have to breathe, but he can. And maybe, but like he might just happen to do it, like as a mannerism.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he would probably be aware of any smells.
It's unpleasant in there. Like the expulsion of toxins mixed with sewage in the entire hallway.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
They forced their insides to their outsides by whatever
Yes.
means was most convenient. Yeah.
What do
Well,
you see, Desmond? Like, I don't see things all over the wall.
Desmond's gonna stick his mace up in there and kind of wave it like in a shushing motion. And he's just gonna slowly advance on the person at the end of the hallway while keeping an eye on that secondary door.
As you get towards the end of the corridor, the addict is completely unmoving. Head lulled down towards their chest, their chin touching their sternum. But they are breathing.
Desmond's gonna just poke him, like, forcibly with the mace a couple times, just see if they stir at all.
You just hear, "Hey! Oh!" As he leaps to life, looks up, blinks a few times. A baby? Am I dead? Is it over?
Well, if you call me a baby again, you will not be alive.
Oh God, it talks. I'm dead, aren't I? I really am dead.
That's right, this is the underworld. How do you feel?
Oh, I was great until a minute ago.
It only gets colder and harder from here on out, too.
Oh, please no. I hope I didn't know what I was doing. I'm so hungry. Is there anything to eat here or drink? And he starts flopping his mouth together. It's so dry. Oh, my stomach. Oh, it feels like it's been doing turns for hours and hours.
Are there any other people here?
Oh, there were the others, but I don't know. There was some of them, and we could. For a moment, he scratches his head, rubs the stubble on his chin in thought, and then, the last thing I remember is waking up in awful cramps and pain. Felt like my blood was boiling in me veins, and just things had to get out. So we ran to the door. We tried to get out the door, but the door was barred. And I know some of the other lads, or at least one of the lasses, she said that she knew another way to get out. So they ran, but I couldn't make it. I was in so much pain.
Well, what's your name?
It's Bellius.
Well, this is your second lease on life. Your name is now Belle. Put your hands above your head, walk to the end of the hallway towards that lady. She saved you. Walk slowly.
Can I go on my knees? I don't think my legs will hold the weight.
That works.
So, with his hands above his head, he begins to shuffle down on his knees towards Vanya. Did you save me?
Yes.
He immediately...
Well, yes, I did.
With his arms in the air, he drops forward in a praying motion. Oh, I'm not dead, and... Oh, something smells awful in here. Flowery, floral, it's... Oh.
Well, you know, I saved you, and now that you have been saved, can you stop making that noise? I'm trying to tell you something.
That smell would be the occasional whiff of Obsidian Vale. That flowery floral scent that permeates Erden's chambers, mixed in with, whatever else is now in there. But yeah, Vanya, you would start to understand that it's almost like they've done a complete 180 on the Vale. Just the smell of it seems to get this guy almost retching.
You gave the magical Narcan.
She's gonna realize this, and I'm assuming there's probably like a satchel somewhere with some of it, or like she still has some in hers because they didn't use all of it.
And there's a lot still in Erden's basement.
So her eyes are gonna get real big because she's like, okay, I've got this theory and I'm gonna test it. And she's going to bring the bag closer to his face.
No.
While
It's
she's
just-
talking to this guy, Desmond's
Yep.
gonna just move into the adjacent room like he's he's on a SWAT team with his shield up and the mace ready.
It's empty. It is silent, empty. As gross and grim as it sounds, there is pools of vomit that have been just coughed up along the floor. Some of them leading into a trail into the back room where Erden had his sort of like safe room located. Of course,
Okay,
with the
so-
chute down to the sewer.
Desmond seeing this, he already realizes that they did exactly what he was thinking. So he's just gonna kind of get at ease and walk back towards Vanya's. Vanya, do you have that bottle with the water? You know the one I'm talking about?
Isn't it Cypher that has that one?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I got it. I got. And he just kinda-
Could I use that for a little while?
Yeah, of course. And he tosses the bottle.
Okay. Desmond's gonna take it and he's gonna hold his shield up just to like prevent the back spray, and he's just gonna start like power washing, like and trying to push all the fluid and vile shit towards the place where it empties out into the sewer. So
Oh.
yeah, let me know when we have to go. Until then, I'm just gonna do this, and they're just try. He's just trying to blast it with water
Yep,
and try to wash all.
I've put it in your inventory for the meantime. Desmond, if you want to throw it up. Shade. Keep that shit out of my sewer.
I am getting it. Inventory.
Oh, dear.
See, I'm familiar with enough with the decanter and this water.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
You've seen Cypher use it a bunch of times.
yeah.
So he's going to be using the geyser function to blast stuff away, and just so he's going to start one in the hallway and move to the other, and then back, stop out halfway, and then just start trying to push everything into Leandrin's old office and like towards just like anything that's in there, just like aiming for the floor mostly.
Yeah.
But
Rayvon's just took the exact words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, welcome to the dark fantasy version of Power Wash Simulator. Or Viscera Cleanup Duty.
yeah, I was about to say viscera cleanup details, what I was thinking, but yeah.
So you can, from the basement, you just hear this. As Desmond's there with the geyser function from the decanter of endless water.
Yeah,
Vanya.
That's
oh,
it.
sorry, go on, Desmond.
The very last thing he's going to do, unless he's interrupted, is he's going to find something heavy to essentially just block that hole so nothing comes up out. Because now he's thinking, like, what if something, like, wants to come and get whatever it's found? Like, just trying to block that access so nothing can come up from the sewer.
You would have a multitude of items at your disposal. You know, there'd be barrels, benches, small stone. Yeah, so go.
Yep, barrel, bench, barrel.
Yeah.
Like, just throw shit on it. And that's basically his plan.
It's done. All right. Meanwhile, in the corridor, Bell, as he's now aptly named, is in the process of trying to recoil away from Vanya as she approaches him with this pouch of obsidian veil.
Vanya, like, big smile, big eyes, because she's realizing it's working, and she's kind of like looking over her shoulder at everybody and like, you know, kind of shaking her head. And she's gonna take the bag back, and she's going to look down at Belle and say,
Oh, thank you, mistress. Thank you. You saved me from. Oh, yeah.
you know, he's right. You have a new take on life, and you should be grateful for that, right?
Oh, I am. Anything you say. Whatever you say, I'll
yeah.
do. As my savior.
You should want others to have this second chance at life.
Vanya, don't you think you should tell him to take a bath first?
She turns her head back and kind of glares at Reza, kind of like, I'm in the middle of something. Chill. It's like, you're messing this up. She turns back and she goes, where was I?
You want me to go spread the word of getting off this stuff?
Yes, and that, others should, if they live a positive life, and that they encourage others to be positive and, to wake up each day clean and just ready to take on the day, that they'll have that second chance of life. They'll feel better. They'll do better. They'll want to do better. So I want you to have this intense, relentless desire to ensure that everyone around you is just inspired, and that they're going to make these efforts, and that they're going to live an upbeat life, and they're going to get off of this Obsidian Veil.
Roll me a persuasion check, please, Vanya.
Don't fail me now.
With almost a fervent, zealous look at you, while still on his knees, he's like, of course. And what's the name of my saviour? What do I call you?
Saint Vanya.
She whips her head back again, glares at Reza. She thinks on it because she's like, oh, maybe that's a good one. And then goes, your positiveness. No. Your royal positiveness.
Your royal positiveness. I will spread the word. Redeemer.
And they'll
Saintess.
want
Giver of life.
the giver of positivity. But they'll want to find Killian, who gives the second life.
No, I want no fucking part of this. I can already see 1,000 drug-addled bastards outside my door. Don't put this on me, please.
This kind of like, Vanya's like, oh, this isn't my plan was, and she's like, you know what, Belle, right? Belle?
Yeah. If that is what you deem me, I am now, Belle, your faithful devotee. Your positiveness. Holy, royal positiveness.
Yeah, you got that. Why don't you come in here and sit down and relax, and then after she's talking about the group motions towards them, discuss where you will direct your words and where they need to come to have a second life. I will get back to you, okay? Because Killian is saying no, but you could just go over here and sit down for. Do you need help?
He shuffles over on his knees, having already bowed once more to you, and then just goes and sits in the corner, giving you all a chance to reflect on what the actual fuck this may entail.
So Vanya's gonna come over to where Killian, Cypher, Garrett, and Reza is, and say, okay, well, so Killian, my plan was, we would put this in a barrel, and you just kind of feed pups to the people that come by and request it, and but it seems that you don't want to go with that plan. And then also, I don't know if, like, as they come in, if we need to lock all of them in the basement, because, like, are they going to be vomiting and doing all of that all over the streets?
Vanya, Killian is going to be working for me, and he will not have the time to be dealing with this. We will have to find a staff that can work out of a building somewhere and administer your treatment.
I mean, surely, no offense, but looking at like how he is, have you not got like some sort of minions that you can call in to do your fucking dirty work for you?
Yeah, what about those Red Cross people?
Yeah, I was thinking about James, who's no longer here. Yeah, I could totally get that. So can we just, because we need to take a beat and to have a plan and to have them here before he goes and starts spreading the word. So are we just gonna lock Bell back down into the basement until I'm ready for him?
Well, Your Majesty.
Royal positiveness.
I feel that's a task that only you are equipped to deal with.
Someone's been given homework.
Well, until then, anyone opposed to sending Bell back to the Folly until I can give him the word? Maybe, like, have some of the guys clean him up and,
No, can he be clean before he gets to the Folly? Because that man shit his pants.
Vanya's gonna yell out at Desmond. Desmond!
Yes.
Can you bring your sprayer thing and spray Bell down?
Have I finished it, or am I still in progress?
It's up to you. What are you up to, Desmond?
So before I've clogged the hole, Bell, come here.
Shuffles in on his knees, falls down the stairwell into the basement.
And I'm gonna have him stand in front of the hole, like to the side of it. I'm gonna physically position him so he's not in front of the hole. I'm gonna hit him with the decanter of endless water like it's a fire hose, like I'm delousing them.
Fucking guys are just blasting him down.
Like, just knock him down against the wall, just like absolutely just saturate him so he's gonna be dripping wet.
I mean, bear in mind, like, the guys is kind of like the riot hoses.
Yes, that's the intention. It's going to be like a 50s prison film. I'm just going to hit him with this shit.
You say, oh, no.
1d4 bludgeoning damage.
Just as, and then, once I'm satisfied that he is no longer filthy, like he's filthy, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like, just by sheer volume of water, there's no way that he has anything left on him. I'm just gonna say, you've been, what's the word? I don't know. You've been purified by water. Now go back. I'll finish up here.
Sadly, at this point, due to the fact he's just been riot hosed down, all you get in response is a weak thumbs up from his prone position on the ground as he starts to crawl back in the direction.
So Desmond's going to give him one of those. Does he look like he's injured, or does he just look like he needs time to recover?
A bit of column A, a bit of column B.
Well, you know what? You've already been through hell. I'm sure that if that hasn't done you, this won't. I'm going to give him one of the healing potions that has the percentile
Oh,
chance
shit.
to fuck people up.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Go drink that in the hallway.
Okay.
And in one fell swoop, we undid everything that we've done.
Mm. So he takes the greenish hued potion of healing that the botanist concocted and begins to crawl into the into the central chamber. It's here where, as he slumps against a barrel. In fact, he probably wouldn't slump against a barrel. This place reeks of Vale. He wants out, so he will spend the next minute or two just crawling out back into the corridor.
I linked it in the chat if you need it.
Yeah. Where he begins to uncork the potion, upends the contents, and downs them. Can you please roll me /R space 1D100?
Okay, I'm going to do this one too, just because it might be relevant. But
Yeah.
// /R space
1D100. Hold on, that's not the right table. 27. So, as he upends the potion, he gulps it down and... his hands drop to his side. And he tries to shuffle for a moment and he can't move his shoulders. He looks down at his hands. And they've turned into iron. He can't move his fingers. His hands have just become steel. What is... My hands. My hands.
Be strong. You push forward.
Yeah. He's just looking at these two metal hands that are now, he's not got the strength to lift his arms. He's just laid there, or at least propped up on the wall, looking at, his new iron hands.
He's a true Iron Fist now.
I don't think he'll ever play the piano again.
Thing is, this only lasts for a minute. But yeah,
It's okay. It's going to be the most traumatic moment of this man's life.
absolutely.
He thought he'd had it last night, but no, it's now.
So yeah, in a nutshell, 27 is your hands become iron fists for the next minute. You cannot move your fingers, but your unarmed strikes deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage. If he could lift them. So yeah, he's just going to sit and wallow in self-pity in the corner. In fact, he's going to look at the brighter side of things. He's like, you know what? I've got iron hands. I can't break my fingers anymore. I can't move them, but, well, and he starts trying to swing his body around with a bit like a flail with his arms. I could certainly make people fuck off. So...
What's going to be better is when it wears off and he acts like he still has iron hands.
He goes to punch a wall or something, just breaks his fucking hand.
Oh. All right. As he's doing this in the corridor, what are the rest of you doing? Since Desmond's still power washing the fucking basement.
So Vanya has taken just a random paper, not even paying attention to which paper, off of Killian's desk. And she's writing kind of a note on there for Bell for him to go back to the Folly. And it says, feed him, clothe him, let him rest somewhere. Vanya, aka Royal Positivity. I can't even say my own name.
Positiveness. Okay.
And she's gonna take it, and after she gets done doing that, to hand to Bell and to tell him when he can to make his way to the folly.
Okay. Reza, Garrett, Cypher, anything you wish to add on this scene?
No, I was just soaking it in, just amused by the entire affair. Okay.
Now Reza has been standing as far away from the smell as she can. And just kind of waiting for them to be done here so they can go break heads.
Go on, Garrett.
Vanya, have you ever dealt with royalty before?
What do you mean by dealt with?
Come into contact? Lived under?
You know, I've been around some dignitaries, with, you know, everybody that I was around at one point was kind of higher class, if you know what I mean.
Now, my home is ruled over by a queen. And one thing queens do not like is people pretending that they are royalty. Maybe pick a more inconspicuous name for yourself.
Would your positiveness be okay? And we just kind of nix the royal part?
Our Lady of Positivity.
Oh, Reza, that was really nice. Like, I thought you would come up with something that I would hate.
Maybe something less grandiose.
Like, lady is grandiose. I think I'm a lady.
In Piker District, lords and ladies are not seen.
Cypher,
Maybe
what would
just
you...
a healer.
I was going to suggest the Happy Hole, but that works better.
There's that what I thought she would say. Well, you know, I was gonna have them call themselves Happy Chaps, and
I'm going to hate myself for suggesting this, but the happy healer.
ooh, I heal you with a smile. I kind of like that. Come in sick, leave with a smile. The happy healer.
I need to stab someone.
Does it? What do you get? Desmond, did you hear that? Did you like that one?
No idea what you're talking about.
Okay, he likes it. Happy healer. Are you guys
Okay.
gonna call me happy healer now?
No.
Fuck no.
Double H.
On to business. Killian.
Yeah.
I need information on the Iron Hand, the other group, you know.
Iron Fists. He blinks his eyes a few times to wash away the shock of what's just happened. Right. So, takes a piece of parchment from the table, spins it round, and ushers it in your direction. Brief map of, or rough map of the district. Warden Fort, a little bit down to the south here. He points to a location. That's the old crafts district, or at least we say it's a district. It's not really a fucking district, like the craft court of the Piker. I don't know exactly where she is, but I know that Irla Ironhand is in there somewhere. That's not a bad shout, actually. So as he's tapping the page, I'm going to call a quick refill MP break.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea at all. So, cheers, does. Everyone, we will be but a moment whilst we stock up on the good stuff and try not to make it out like some of the people in that cellar. Yeah. Alright. Won't be a moment. I have returned.
Well,
Welcome.
back.
Thank you. Chocolate chip cookie?
Miss Club.
Sounds it.
Mm-hmm.
Homemade?
Yep, made them last night.
Oh.
Didn't share them with your neighbors.
No.
Well,
Nope, the kids are lucky they got some.
Cheers, Diz. Alright, since we're taking a brief moment, I'm going to put...
Scob, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
I was gonna be so pissed if you killed him.
You know, I thought about it. I was like, it'll work out if it's supposed to.
It's like, James.
Yeah, no, that's what the I was like, you know what? You know, kill one, and replace him with one that's better, maybe. But like the thing is, like it was not the thought at the time, but I'm thinking about it's like this is like you have a prime like initial follower for a cult. Like this guy has been hazed like in the most extreme ways. Like so no more almost killing your follower. Like, you know, I'm gonna leave that up to you.
You're like, Vanya will ultimately kill her own follower on accident
Maybe.
somehow.
It'll be a fun journey to find out. Or Desmond starts training Belle to fight
Oh my god.
and follow Vanya around to be her personal protector.
Turns into some militant religious cult around Vanya.
I like
Well,
that. I
she's
thought
already
you were.
kind of got that.
Yeah. With the
The Red Cross.
Red Cross, yeah. I thought there for a second you were gonna say that you're gonna train him to fight me.
No, no. That's no fun.
All right. With that, then, I guess we're all back. Sure, why not? So, as Killian plops down a finger on a section of the Piker district, right, this is the craftsman's court. I know that she's round there somewhere, but exactly where? Can't say for certain.
I'm sure if we go down there, Desmond with his axe and an oddly bulging sack, we'll word will get around, and I'm sure they'll find us.
They do have a way of people have a way of finding us. We don't exactly blend in very well. Granted, you either don't blend in or you're completely unseen.
It does go like that.
Okay.
But for today, we shall be seen.
Desmond's going to wrap up the decanter adventures. And give the bottle back to Cypher. Just, here you go. This is very useful. Should remember this for the next time we have to do something like this.
You know what? Keep hold of it. I think you might have use of it in the future.
I've always preferred fire to water for cleaning things up, but I suppose water will work in a pinch.
Well, fire cleans things permanently. Water can make for fun, and you can shock people with it.
Oh dear.
Yes, and I'm still waiting for the new district office to be built so I can put the paperwork in for the folly.
Oh, I could go and have a word with our chap there.
Because the last one was cleaned with fire, wasn't it? Yeah. Where's that?
I was gonna say, it's like, wait, I didn't do that, Garrett. That was
Yes, you did. You made
Reza.
it worse.
I really think that whole situation worked out for the best. You know, all
It
said
was
and
a
done.
team effort. Just nobody, don't take the credit or the blame. It was many people.
I think lessons, the great thing that came out of it was, lessons were learned. We are all better communicators now.
Let's go fucking do this. Come on.
And we speak openly about everything now. Right?
I feel like we should speak openly about nothing. Behind closed doors only.
Well, I meant like with us. Like we share, we don't keep secrets.
What I'm trying to say is not right now. This isn't the time.
Oh. Garrett brought it up.
Okay,
Well-
Desmond, if you want to carry your axe and make sure people notice it.
Oh yeah. The axe is longer than he is tall, and he has on his shoulders, up above his head, like it's almost like a flag, like on a Roman centurion, like those markers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Marvelous. And where's that head?
I gave it to
He's in the
Cypher.
bag.
Yeah.
He's in the bag.
To make it as on the nose as possible, why don't you get one of those green scarves and just let it escape from the top of the bag somewhat, so people know what's in there. And if some blood was to ooze through the bag, so be it.
Always
Actually-
good there for that.
Garrett, what would you think of just kind of like sticking his head on the axe? It's got a pointy end. You could just like
I mean,
knock it right on there.
I wouldn't want to get Desmond dirty, but it would
Oh,
be.
You know,
I'm upgrading to real armor soon. Just do it. It'll work fine.
Cypher,
be it.
do you want me to stabilize the bag as you pull the head out?
Well, and we could also tie a green scarf onto the bottom of the neck to stop like the drips.
It stopped dripping already. Heads don't bleed longer a day, and he pulls out the head. He goes, "Look." They go gross and start to bloat.
The once
Yes.
the once pretty features of Erd and Leander have now started to look a little stuffy.
As he
It's a
does
shame.
that, Vanya ducks behind a chair.
I put it in the chat for like a reference to what I'm thinking.
Let's have a look. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, you're gonna walk around with the axe on your back, this head on top of it.
Well, we're going through Piker. Like, this place is such a shithole. The guards don't hit patrol, it seems.
It's a shame we haven't got his bloody hat. We could wedge that onto his head.
I think he never actually got the hat. Personally, I think that he was taken for all that money. He was a fool.
Killian slowly nods, silently in the background. I mean, if I see the guy again, I know what he looks like.
Well, what did they say the name of the hat shop was? With the Tread Tailor or whatever?
I'm
Just thought it
not
was
sure.
Garnack or anything like that.
No, I'm not sure. He just took the money and fucked off. Something
okay.
about
He
a denarial or a denarius or something like that.
Oh, I didn't realize Leander was that kind of stupid. Okay.
Okay, so Killian, when's the meeting scheduled for the road?
That would be later tonight, after the 12th evening bell. So way past midnight.
Marvelous. So we'll go and do a few laps around the traders area and see what we can scare up, and then we'll meet you back here later.
All right, I'll look after the fucking crazy zealot in the meantime and this is the last time. I don't want to be no fucking cult leader, eh?
No, this isn't a job for you.
Yeah, I don't care for people, to be honest, but good luck in hunting down, or at least blunting the Iron Hand. And with that, it will offer you all a nod of the head in farewell.
Come along, let's wave your flag so people can see it.
So the way that the axe is positioned, like it's not securely fastened, so it does kind of like sway a little bit back and forth, almost like one of those perpetual motion machines, as long as he's walking. Or like,
Yeah,
for people who don't know what that is, like it's almost like a cat toy, just swaying back and forth.
just swaying back, yeah, like an upside down pendulum in the air.
Pretty much, yeah. A little bit jerkier, but yeah.
Yeah. As you're marching down the street, this battle axe poking behind your head, Erdenleander's head squished on top. Those who are at least somewhat coherent recoil in fear, seeing this armed group march down the middle of the streets and the alleys with this battle axe and head stuck atop. As you begin to make your way south towards the craftsman's court of the district, you would start to notice that the usual narcotic-addled zombies of the populace seem to start thinning. The odd person who is walking the streets take notice, and at one junction of an alley, someone runs across, catches the eye of a few of you before darting down into the maze-like back streets of Piker.
Well, I think our presence has been noted now.
Would look that way.
Why don't we take a rest here on this bench and see what turns up?
You sit here and I'll just go over here and make it very obvious. And aside from guards, because we'll keep an eye out for wardens or people who might care, but I really doubt that they're going to show up. But otherwise, Desmond's going to stand a little bit away from the bench where everybody else is and just trying to draw attention to him. That's it. Just standing there, looking around.
So, with Garrett, Cypher, Reza, and Vanya, you positioned around this bench. A somewhat dying, dilapidated tree just hangs over the top, providing a little bit of cover. And just further down the alley is a crossroad, a junction. And it's here, Desmond, where you parade a little further and stand in this junction for all to see. There is a small lantern that illuminates the intersection, so you stand out. Anything anyone else wishes to do? Any positions, or are you you're happy where you
Ressa
are.
is going to kind of take a position where she's could be mistaken for not being a member of the party. Just like, not totally like stealthing out of sight, but like a little ways apart, but with a line of sight to what's happening in the street, kind of leaning against a wall. Hood pulled down a little bit.
And
Yeah?
Yeah, we're just chilling, waiting.
Something like this, then, I would probably say.
yeah, I'll just right there probably.
Mm-hmm.
And Desmond's waiting, so since the first time that he's ever like been here doing this, he's actually gonna
Mm-hmm.
to draw attention to himself and away from anybody else. If he sees anybody coming, he will
Which
put
there
it
are.
away. All right, so he's gonna start. He actually pulls out his hurdy-gurdy and just starts grinding it. And it's not well tuned.
Is it okay if I move Reza?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that I see the scene, okay.
And as soon as Desmond sees anyone coming that doesn't look like random peasants, he's going to face them with this thing. Like he's clearly acknowledging them to tip people off if there are people coming from that way.
Desmond, from your position, you would see a group of 5 individuals making their way down the street. They don't seem to be your typical rough thugs. I mean, granted, they still look relatively rough, but more akin to that of just townsfolk who've been recently armed. There's no coordination, no cohesion. Just a small mob of individuals making their way. And at this point, you would have certainly garnered their attention, and they are heading straight to you, towards you.
Are they humans, dwarves, gnomes?
From where you are, there appears to be 4 of them at about humanish height, and one is a lot smaller and stockier, who's definitely a dwarf. Again, in the lantern light further down, you can't tell exactly the the races of the 4 others, but yeah, there's a dwarf there at least.
Okay. Desmond's going to put the hurdy-gurdy away because it's one of the only things that non-functionally carries with him. And once they get to about 30 to 40 feet, he's going to grab the head off the axe and huck it like a bowling ball down the street at them.
As they continue moving down, they get to a section of the street that's a little bit more brightly lit, more illuminated. As you batter this head down the cobbles towards them, it hits the ground, rolls a few times, and stops, I would say, 2 or 3 feet in front of the 2 leading members of this patrol. At this point, I would imagine the rest of you are aware and can see what's happening.
The bowling ball head was, yes, not subtle. So,
The
What do you
moist
do?
bouncing sounds was a giveaway.
Any actions from those in the back?
Reza just looks at Desmond proudly. Sorry, go ahead.
no, well, I think Desmond's got this at the minute.
And Desmond's kind of in rare form, so he's going to do is seeing them after he throws the head. He's going to take the axe in one hand, his mace in the other, and he's just going to spread his arms wide, like, just come on.
Let's be having ya.
All right, this group begins to move down the street. The dwarf from the party picks the head up, and as he's walking, looks at it, somewhat of a puzzled expression on his face. Reza, are you trying to stay out of their sight, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to be unobtrusive, just like a random druggie hunched against a wall.
Okay. Just roll me a deception check, quick.
Okay.
Or
As they draw
stealth.
closer, Desmond's going to point the rockbiter axe at them,
Oh, what?
like drawing their attention.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you that with advantage, Reza. Stealth or deception with advantage.
Okay, we'll do stealth.
Okay.
Maybe try and go unnoticed instead.
Mm-hmm. 12. One of them sort of glances towards you. But then, with the rockbiter drawn, his attention is now focused back towards Desmond. You are safe. You've not been shouted at to clear off, or it seems at the moment they've got bigger fish to fry rather than trying to keep out any of the drugs or the drug-addled individuals from this part of the district.
All right. Head of bird in the Anden and the rockbiter's axe. Who are you and what do you want?
The dwarf rests his hands on the two short swords at his waist.
Oh, finally. It's been a while. I'm Desmond, and I'm going to point the axe directly at him. And had about enough of people causing the guards to come into this district and cause trouble for us.
Slightly unnerved, the dwarf looks at his companions before returning his gaze back to you, Desmond.
All right. So what, you were some sort of assassin, vigilante trying to...
And he motions to the head in his hand, that he then just drops to the floor in disgust.
Vigilante. Sounds so special. High airs of nobility and doing the right thing. I'm just here taking out the trash.
Is that so? So what you're... Well, we don't do anything. We keep things stable here. Yeah, safe. All right. And so, what can we help you with?
The fact that they're not
They're cautious. They're definitely
they're
cautious.
not ramping up to a fight. Well, see, I know of a certain lass with an iron hand. What needs to not be causing trouble, unless trouble just flare up and burn everything down? And then what good would it be, all of these buildings here, rubble and flames and blood and guts? I've seen too much of that recently, in the lower streets.
A craftsman, probably the best word to describe him, with a pitchfork, who's stood next to the dwarf, just leans down. Really figuring you're little boy, mate, little boy. Just kick him out of the district. He must have stolen that shit from some. I've heard that there is someone around.
Shut your...
Which
shut
one
up,
is
minute.
this?
It will be the somewhat cheerful-looking thug.
Desmond's going to close the space while he's talking.
The cheerful thug and the dwarf won't draw their weapons because they're talking to each other, but the others around will slowly draw their weapon, or at least try and draw it inconspicuously.
At this point, Reza will step out 10 feet behind Desmond and knock an arrow in her bow, but she's not aiming it. And she kind of looks at the two that are trying to draw their weapons and says, Uh, uh, uh.
They stop halfway drawn. Desmond, over to you.
The only thing Desmond's going to do is just, with the hand that has his mace in it, he's not going to hit him with a mace. He's just going to push him with the arm, just give him a sense of he is dealing with something that he's not prepared to deal with, clearly. Okay, so I'm just going to try to push him.
Roll me a athletics check, please.
That might be it.
Oh dear. Yeah, if you're true.
I'm going to knock him on his ass.
A somewhat light push easily knocks this carpenter on his arse, on his backside. It would be at that moment where, seeing his friend knocked down, the dwarf would also, in a quick flash of motion, draw his swords, not point them at you, but look between his friend to Desmond, and then he would notice you behind Reza.
Alright, this is major fucking point. So,
Have we?
you want to
What's
see
the
the
point?
Iron Hand?
What do you think we want? Oh! Desmond's going to intentionally and just brazenly turn and look. He does know! And then turn back.
Cypher's clapping. Yay.
They can be taught.
Vanya is just kind of confused and is going to telepathically link with Cypher because she doesn't know what's going on, and she's like, I've never seen Desmond like this aggressive before. Is he getting enough sleep?
Cypher's just like, yeah, just think of it more like a game.
Oh, he's playing a game. Okay.
Yeah, except he will actually tear that man's arms and legs off like a spider.
He's just ferocious right now. I've never seen him like this.
We're all
And then she
monsters
just
here.
do what?
We're all monsters here, Vanya.
And then she just kind of goes back to listening and watching.
Garrett's just leant up against the wall, a real proud expression on his face. Just watching it all play out.
Aye, we... Irla is, well, a boss of the Craftsman's Court, so we know her.
Oh, you know her. Just know her now. You mean to tell me that you're not good friends with Erla and her... I forget his name. The one that, tinkers.
That little bastard's not been seen in a few days. Slinked away. Irla's proper pissed.
Well, seeing as how it's very clear what's happened to Leandrin and the old rock fist is, let's say, not as usual normal self. We'd like to talk to this Iron Fist about stabilizing the district, getting out of the piss and shit and beggars who are huffing rocks and stones and crystals and whatever else they can.
He slowly begins to sheath his swords, and if allowed to continue, he would wave to the others to do the same.
Desmond's not going to interrupt anything that isn't like a hostile action.
All right. You want to see the boss? Then sure.
Yeah.
I can take you to her.
Want to see the boss. Where is she? Let's go.
All right.
he makes a twirling motion with his fingers for the group to turn around. The previously cheerful gentleman, or at least joking, he is no longer smiling. He is no longer cheerful. He's no longer joking. He hastily pulls himself up from the cobbles and tries to put a bit of distance between himself and Desmond. And they're going to lead.
Desmond's going to try to keep pace with them, and he's going to just hold a hand up and kind of do like a so-so motion if people want to keep their distance on the follow. He's just going to keep as close as he can.
As you get towards the junction, they make a hard left-hand turn and begin to head deeper into one of the side alleys.
Desmond will go wider.
It will be here, Desmond, as you turn the corner, that you see there are quite a larger gathering of... in fact, what I could probably do now is... that. You see a larger gathering of individuals, mostly looking either like a mix of farmers, craftsmen, carpenters, blacksmiths, again, the tradespeople of the Piker district. A few of the group who you were traveling with take this opportunity to dive into the crowd, and many of them part, allowing you to make your way through.
Garrett's detached himself from the group, and through the shadows, he's climbed up onto the roof and is making his way from building to building. Apart from I can't, because the tokens won't let me.
Yeah, there was walls there to start with.
It's fine. I'll make way there.
Yeah.
Parkour.
I am going to ask for a stealth check, though.
Totally.
Because these are old roofs.
Yeah, Reza's gonna keep following Desmond as his very visible backup.
Yeah, 15's fine. It's good. Good save on the proficiency there. Because the actual roll was low.
I could have side based and acted.
Yeah, it's all good. But no, 15's fine.
Looking at these fellows at the opening, are they using like modified farm tools?
A lot of them are. They are a mix of either modified farm tools or things like chisels that have been sharpened. Wood axes, again, also sharpened to act as weapons. There are a few who seem to have sturdier swords and shields scattered around that wouldn't be amiss in the hands of a warden.
Yeah, they're stolen. They don't actually know how to fucking use them. Desmond's making that noise and looking at these people, and he just puts his hand at about his face level, his offhand, and he just lowers his hand, like, put them down. Just... There won't be any trouble that isn't started. Just... Your friends have already been very accommodating. We're here to talk.
One of the chaps with the with the pitchfork shakily holds it up. So go on.
If you wish to test yourself, we can do that as well, but we are on a bit of a timeline.
No. If figuring is letting you through, then let's go on. No funny business, though, right?
And Desmond's just going to look at him. And he doesn't have to. There's like a bit of an exasperation. Oh, no funny business. Almost like back at him more than an agreeance. And he's just gonna wait for him to just like show some sign of like acknowledgement.
Go on then. He points the pitchfork further down the alley in the direction that figure and the dwarf went.
All right, so he's gonna put his mace on his belt, and he's gonna have a shield in his hand. He's no longer like waving his mace about, and he's just gonna follow after,
All right.
and just keep an eye on everybody as best as he can.
Reza is going to continue to follow Desmond, watching everybody like a hawk.
Roll me a insight check, Reza.
Oh dear.
There is, to your senses, very much a uneasy, fearful feeling coming from each and every one. They're all either, intimidated, scared, but at the same time they're alert. They all seem to have come to terms with the path they've chosen. So whilst they may be individually scared and afraid and intimidated by what's happening, there's a sense of they are quite resolute.
Does she get the sense they're not going to be the ones to start something? They're smarter than that.
Not so much that they're smarter than that. At the moment, it's they are like sheep, waiting for the wolf to shout at them to what to do.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
As you begin to meander your way down this tight alley, eventually you end up. Cypher, Vanya, if you want to move down, you're welcome to. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
Yeah, Vanya's gonna stay right here.
Yeah,
Because she
okay.
wants to be able to see, if anybody's coming down, like, that side alley
Mhm.
or the back behind them.
You still got telepathic link with Cypher?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Getting to this point, Desmond's just gonna step up behind Igrin, seeing how his friend just betrayed his name to him. Oh. It's surprisingly pleasant. Okay.
As you're stepping down, you basically enter a small courtyard between buildings. Here, you see a multitude of individuals. An elf, just to your left, wielding a blade from the wardens. Opposite him is another sort of somewhat large gentleman with a sword and shield. Again, stolen from the wardens. And last but not least, the other individual who would take your attention would be a rather large tiefling gent. Two short swords tucked into the belt, and he stood very close to a rather stocky but hardened looking dwarven lass.
And does she have an iron hand?
She does indeed. Now, the iron hand is not exactly what you would expect.
Okay.
As what it appears, and you look at, the hand is connected to her arm, which then boils off to a large metal shaft, a large mace, and the head of the mace is also an iron hand. So it's kind of like two fists with a bar between them, but one of them's attached to her at the wrist. Seems like she's had an upgrade.
Well, Figrin, you going to introduce us?
As you were a little delayed, he was currently talking to the dwarf woman, and at that, she calls out, No need. I can introduce myself. Figrin, step aside. The dwarf does so, and with that, Earla Ironhand steps forward, looks over you, Desmond, and then over your shoulder towards Reza and Cypher. Earla Ironhand, pleasure, and who are you lot?
I'm Desmond Woods. I have with me Reza and Cypher here, and somewhere way back there, she's a bit slow as Vanya, but I won't bother you with that. And he's not going to mention Garrett intentionally.
Yeah.
Just because if he can't see him, he probably doesn't want to have his presence known.
So, you stroll into the craftsman's court wielding the rock biter and the head of the fucking Verdant posse's leader, eh? That's quite a statement.
Wielding, more like wearing. I don't have much taste for the thing itself. But it's known. It's more like a figurehead on a ship. But yes, I'll cut through the pleasantries. I'm here to talk to you.
All right, then start talking.
As he's gesturing with his right hand to show that his hand is open. He's not holding the mace. He's not like going to jump them. He's not going to attack. So, let me make sure that all the people around can hear. I want you to stop causing trouble with the wardens here. And pointing towards all these people who are clearly equipped with stuff that they've never had any training with. Like the guy to the left.
Yeah.
I know, they're cocksuckers, but them coming in causes problems for everyone. And I want to know what it takes for you to be a bit more peaceable, for a while at least.
Well, it's quite the demanding you've got there. That's all right. I'll bite. We've been kicked down by those fuckers in the higher districts. You look around you, this place is shambles. Even the people I used to work with, work for, love, have turned their back on this place. Everything that's made, that's created, it's almost like slave labor. You can't buy anything, you can't feed your family. Everything you produce gets shipped out for naught but copper, while they're there in their baths and piles of silver coin. So, if you're asking what I'm wanting, that's a pretty easy and simple answer. 1. All of these gangs, Rockfist Bastard and his ruffians who just cause naught but trouble, they need to go, which you've done. 2, the poison that's running through the districts and killing and turning everyone into mindless freaks. Let's fix that. And at this point, Eola takes a bit more of a relaxed pose. Which then really only leaves the oppressive bastards from out of the districts who we're trying to hit hard and where it hurts them. They want the goods and things produced out here in Piker District. Well, I say fuck them. They can't. We'll not send them anything out. We'll not produce anything. So unless you can deal with, the bureaucrats up in the administration, then I don't think we're actually ready yet. We're going to start an uprising right here. We're going to storm, eventually get everyone on board with this plan. And we're going to storm that keep. We're going to kill all of the fuckers there. Take all of what they've got. And then we're going to push into the gates, into the Lantern District.
Oh, interesting. Have you ever seen an Inquisitor?
Made up stories to frighten the young.
At this moment, a genuine look of just like shock and like not horror, but like alarm comes over Desmond's face. No, those stories are true. A man wielding a mace larger than it. And then he's going to point towards the tiefling to the side, then him swinging it about like it's nothing. Monsters. If you want to believe, if you need proof, go to the Carnelian Gate and look above the gate at any time. An Inquisitor did that. I was there. And I can't. The bureaucracy that is true. That is true. That needs more effort than I can supply. I'm more like a crowbar, leverage in certain places to get things done. We have someone that can work on that, though. And
You
she's
say
not
we?
lying at this point.
Okay, go on.
And when she says we, he kind of hikes his thumb over behind him down the line towards the people behind. We have contacts. Those things are negotiable. Those things take time. And I also don't like these things that take too much time. So what can I do here and now that gets you to wait for longer?
She
And
strokes
also
her.
the poison. He's going to point to Figrin at the head, and he's going to just kind of like gesture like an up motion.
The dwarf looks over toward Yella.
I can attest that that's the head of Herden Leandon. You know, when he came around that time and sort of swerving and saying that he'd support us, hey, well, let's just say that he won't be supporting us anymore, boss. He's,
He was not supporting. He was poisoning with honeyed words, making us coy. He didn't care about anyone here.
Hey, you've got a point. So, Erden's dead. Rockfist's dead. And I dare say that any further... And she stops and she tilts her head to the side.
Is not dead.
Oh, is that so? Then that's better for me. If that makes things
He has
easier, then
been-
you give Rockfist to us, and I'll happily hold back on whatever plans we had for kicking the wardens.
I have another idea. What's your friend who disappeared recently that fucked off? What's his name?
Oh, we're going down that route. Irla narrows her brows and spits on the ground. Little bastard, Frug Timbers. Eh? I've known him for a while.
And I understand that he's disappeared.
Aye. He has not just disappeared, but, well, taken a considerable amount of my armory and a few of my associates with him. He was meant to be a good friend of mine. Saved me, in fact. And she waves the iron hand in the air. Saved me from certain death, and now, for some reason, something, he's turned his back and took a few others. Disappeared. He was in charge of a few other organization of the group, so that's why we've been a little bit more forceful recently. Things needed to be done quicker since
Seems like the issue is this... What, gnome?
The issue is that I wanted to know why Frog has departed, and I want that bastard Rockfist.
Frug. Do you know that he left, or do you know that he simply disappeared?
All I was told is that he disappeared and a good charge of my armory was gone with him. along with at least 4 or 5 others.
So a handful of people with some investment in your enterprise, and this Frug disappeared. But you don't know why, or what they're going to do, or what they're planning.
She shrugs.
Well, on the Rockfist front, I will tell you, I've bested him in a fight, and I will not be serving him up to anyone. If you have a problem there, you'll have to sort it yourself in the future. However, this Frug, perhaps there's something we can do there.
She means to shake her head. It's personal between me and Rorik.
It's not
If
personal
you-
between you and Frug, then.
Well, it is, but what Rorik has done... None of your business. Frug, I've got my own people. I'll find out what he's been doing, whether he's betrayed us or whether or not, he's had something occur. I need to know. I'll find out. But Rockfist? No. Go on, Reza.
May I, Desmond?
And Desmond's just going to hold up his hand, kind of in an assenting manner. Like it's a yes. So go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reza's kind of playing off that Desmond's the boss here, so yeah. To be quite frank, Ila dear, we're trying to save the whole bloody district, and we've no time or room for your personal quarrels to get in the way of that. We will happily lock you and Rockfist in a room so you can beat your grievances out of each other. But we will not allow a personal grievance to get in the way with our mission to bring money and good things flowing back into Pica. Something that I
peace.
think... Yes, peace. Things that you all want, I am sure.
Roll me a persuasion check, Reza, with advantage, because this conversation's been pretty straightforward, really. Alright. You're saying you can put me in a room with Rockfest?
We can.
Mm-hmm. No weapons. Just your own 2 hands.
Which seems like a bit of an advantage for you.
Aye, that it does. Alright. Alright, I'll take that. Now, obviously, I'm not sure what you're doing with Rockfist, but... if I'm going in there with him and he doesn't work out, are you going to be okay with that?
I really don't fucking care. All we want is for Pica to come back to life. And we need cooperation from everybody here for that to happen. I don't care who fucking walks out of the room. As long as they're cooperating after they do, I'm happy.
With her left hand, Yela taps her chin and nods. Alright, I'll hold off on what we were planning to do in a few days' time if you can guarantee and set up a date for me and Mr. Rurik to have a little chat. Preferably somewhere quiet, unseen, and, make sure that none of his ruffians want to interfere. If you can guarantee that, then I'll happily stand
yes,
down.
we can. I'll make sure the bed spring's well oiled. Don't you worry.
I'm not sure what she means, but we can absolutely facilitate. And I'm sure that I am no dwarf. Larger, just strong. And you have this sense of stoic refusal to forget. I'm sure that the both of you would love to work those things out. And that can happen. I'm sure that all we have to do is mention it to him and you both, and you would both go for it. And you would have the best of times or the worst of times figuring that out. I am somewhat concerned about your friend Frug, though. If he has gone missing with weapons and armor and associates, that could be a problem going forward.
The large tiefling steps up.
Ah, well, I may have a bit of a lead on that, potentially.
And he's going to look at the tiefling and then back to Erla and says, well, you're the boss here. And he's going to gesture around at the alley. We just want things to go back to how they were not so long ago.
Aye, it would be nice. All right, give me a few minutes to have a chat with a few of my associates here, and I'm sure we can work something out.
Okay. And Desmond's going to, with his free arm, kind of do like a curtsy. Well, just we'll tell your people to come and talk to you, and call us back when you're ready.
I just need a few, like a minute or two, so... Aye. She offers a single nod towards you, Desmond.
And Desmond's going to start backing up to here. And just let people kind of filter out back.
Yes,
The
back to up there.
Yeah, the remaining armed craftsmen, they've still got hold of their weapons, but not in a alert or threatening manner. They just seem to be casual observers at this point.
With Garrett all of 20 feet away from them.
Who is also casually observing what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting turn of events. As the tiefling, Earla, the elf, and somewhat scarred gentleman begin a hushed conversation amongst themselves. This goes on for, I would probably 5 or 6 minutes. For those observing, it seems that the elf and the human are vehemently against making any deals. But the larger tiefling and Yerla seem to bat them down. After these 5 minutes pass, Yerla just nods to the group and begins to make her way back towards you, Desmond, Cypher, and Reza.
Sorry, trying to just turn.
That's right. I can do that for you if you want.
Yeah.
Right click, and then you can just spin it to the opposite side.
Gotcha. And he's not armed. He's just got his shield because he always holds it. Just bows slightly, and then stands to see what she has to say.
All right. I've had a chat with everyone, and while some are not exactly willing to stand down, I'm going to make sure that they see the light, if you catch me drift. They're going to do what I say, whether they like it or not, so... Aye, you'll get your cease and desist of our actions. But there are be 2 conditions. The first, put me in a room with Rockfest.
And the second?
The second is, well, I want to know who I'm working with.
Oh,
So,
I thought that I said, sorry.
no. Not just your
Reza?
names, but who you are. So, this here is fair. And she motions to the tiefling. I'd like him to work alongside you for a while, get to know you, and see, whether or not what's coming out of your mouth is actually what's best for us here for crafting, for trade. I need some sort of assurance, and there's no offense, but just your word alone's not enough.
What? You don't recognize us now? I'm really sad. I thought we had more notoriety than that.
Yeah, I thought we were famous and shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to work a little bit harder.
No offense, but whatever happens outside the Pike District, I got fuck all. I don't care.
So you've not heard of the prosperity of lower streets under the Baron's folly?
She just shakes her head and shrugs. No, should I have?
I would hope so. But it seems not.
Why do I care about lower streets when I've got fucking issues here in my own back damn yard?
Well, to start, you're talking about people not wanting to pay you what you're worth, but lower streets is one of the best places to trade your wares for things that are absolutely worth what they are.
Hey,
Also, it was the people from lower streets that, I don't know, fixed this entire shit show in a matter of fucking days that you guys couldn't do in, what, weeks?
Oh, yes, you
months?
can keep that, by the way. Pointing at Erden, Lurendron's head.
Yeah, he loses his head over pretty early.
So what? You're wanting me to just start kissing your boots for strolling in here and demanding shit? That you may as well just put on a fucking warden uniform and start, dictating your terms.
We do have a couple, I think, from the ones we've killed.
To be fair, most people have known who we are before we arrive.
Sensing that tensions are somewhat off, a lot of the nearby craftsmen are also now gripping their weapons a little tighter.
We have no intention of making you submit to anyone. We just
That's a
want
funny
people
way
to-
of fucking putting it, coming in here trying to wave some fucking big dick around. All I've asked you for is just for me to send one person with you. Is that so much of an issue?
I don't believe we've refused.
No, we were just sort of bantering.
Honestly, if you want your man along, then I personally don't have a problem with it.
Right, well, I'm sorry that I don't know your high and mighty fucking deeds from what you've been doing, and I apologize that, you've stormed in here in a few days and kicked shit out. Who the fuck was I supposed to know? I don't care what happens out there. I don't care about the groups. All I want is to make sure that Rorik's fucking 6 feet under and that this poison's gone. Now, if that's the attitude you want to cop, then fine by me. Crack on.
The poison should be done with. That's going to take a little while to die, but the head is off of the snake. The Rorik thing, you'll have to see that to yourself with our assistance. But yes. Personally, I'd just like to make sure that your friend Frug is where he should be, wherever that might be.
She starts to nod and motions for the group to lower their weapons. All right, that's all. All I was asking for is for one, is for one of my own to see what you do. There was no need for you to start swinging the old big dick, trying to, do you know who I am? Because no, the answer is that I don't.
Well,
But
understand. We'll have to keep working at that. Understood.
Apologies, Mila, that for our inappropriate reaction.
Hey, as I said, last time someone copped that attitude, they were wearing a fucking plate mail, and I had about 30 people jumping with shivs. Ever heard a warden scream like that?
Yes.
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 Yes. It was actually yes, multiple times. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was going to say it was when the Inquisitor was there with the vampire, but you're right, more times than. And he's just kind of looking back from side to side, talking to Teresa and Cypher in turn, like just.
So I think the screams of the. But that's a conversation for another day. I'm not going to worry about that.
Probably. Okay. Well, your man fell. It's not.
Neff?
so much a four, you think? Neff, I thought it was Fel.
Nope.
Oh, Neff, all right. Well, Neff has a lead. We can follow leads pretty well. And I rather like the idea of sorting this out so we can get to a very agreeable resolution for everyone in short order.
Yela begins to nod and turns around to the rest of the gathered craftspeople. All right, you lot, fuck off now then. Looks like we're come to an agreement. No need for... As she's saying this, all of the wannabe thugs start dispersing. And Yerla begins to walk back to the
Well, before
courtyard.
she walks away,
Mhm.
Reza kind of comes up close to her and does like a half whisper and says, you know, leadership to leadership. Is there anything you need for your people? Do you have enough food, water, anything like that? Is there anything we can try and get in here for you?
I certainly wouldn't turn down a bit more food if it can go, or, you know, that's part of the reason that we're struggling, eh? Food would certainly be a good one. Barrels of water that's not got scum floating on the top would also be welcomed.
Desmond's going to look around for any barrels.
There will be quite a few. Collecting rainwater.
So I trust her to talk in my stead for the moment. And Desmond's going to go around and with the bottle and just kind of like fill things.
Oh, no! Oh, shit. Okay.
Well, fresh water we can take good care of right now. It'll take probably a day or two to organise some food, but we'll talk to our people in Lower Street and see what we can't do. Won't be fine dining by any means, but, you know, roast rat or nothing, am I right?
I mean, that's the part of the problem is even the rats around here are so fetid and, well, whatever they eat, and we eat, I'd rather not eat the rats from around the Paker. It's not good eating.
Fair enough, fair enough. Right, we'll see what we can do about the food situation, so keep everybody, you know, from chafing with the inaction, so to speak.
If you are who you say you are, and you know you're these big wigs in the old fucking Lower Streets, then perhaps once I've confirmed it through the eyes of my associate, I might be able to perhaps get something, a few of the craftspeople down to you if there's anything that you need. Granted,
Might
they'll
take
want
you up
paying.
on that.
They'll want paying a few copper for their services, mind you, but I've got a few names and a few that I would very much like to get out of this shithole.
I think that could possibly be arranged. And now, all jesting aside, myself and my associates run a tavern in Lower Streets called the Baron's Folly. It's doing quite well for itself. We also sort of look out for Lower Streets and Market Row, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And we've sort of turned an eye down here because that vile poison was making its way into Lower Streets, and we didn't like that. So we're come to do what we can.
Alright. I mean, obviously that sounds all good and just, but you've no doubt got your own reasons for why you're doing it, and I guess, you know, having poison sort of leak north into your area of influence is not exactly the greatest of, no one really wants that shite. And again, since...
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, just since the old spyglass burnt down and Mac disappeared up and left us, this place has just turned into a fucking dive.
Oh, well, Mac is, I think it's safe to say he's technically dead.
I thought as much. Though I am somewhat surprised because he was one tough son of a bitch to try and bring down, which is part of the reason why he's ruled this place for as long as he did. But it was a greedy fucker. At least that's what Eric used to tell me. That fucking bastard dwarf.
Right. Well, you've got. I'm Teresa. You know where we're from. You know our business. If you make any inquiries, you'll be able to verify what I've said.
Aye, well, I'll send Neff with you, and he'll be back to me in a day or two, if that's all right with you.
Of course.
The tiefling just steps up and nods to the group.
Right. Desmond, how's things going?
Oh, I think Desmond's just gonna stop at 2 or 3 barrels.
Yeah.
Think that's probably good. You know, I think
You've gathered a little bit of a crowd around you, Desmond, as you're doing this. You know, a few thankful gazes are cast on your back as you do so.
So, I think we have what we need. Should probably be off, right, Neff?
The tiefling casts one final glance to Yerla before returning his gaze back to you, Desmond.
Aye, hey, it might not be a bad idea, to be honest. Nifna, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Not the greatest with blades, but more of a accountant.
Well, the best thing to know with blades is when to run away.
With that, she will, step up to your side.
What color is he?
He's like a dark reddy brown.
Cypher's amused by this. He's like, hey, this one's a different color.
What do you mean? I've never seen a man with horns.
Cypher, just...
Oh, okay.
Well, and then Desmond's going to turn to Erla. Your man is safe with us, and we'll tell him to vacate if anything dangerous comes his way.
Hey, hello. In that case, I'll look forward to hearing back from you in, 2 days or so, I guess? Is that enough time for you to sort what you need out?
We should get back to you within a day or two, for sure. And hopefully we have the entire thing stitched up by then, but every once in a while someone throws you for a loop, and then you have to deal with things like inquisitors and vampires and...
Of course, if you say so. Just worst case scenario, just send Neff back to me when you've got a response, and I'll you can use him as your little bitch boy.
I think that we'll treat him with a bit more respect than that, but you have our word. Yes, that's what we'll do.
All right, and with that then, you all turn to depart the alley.
Yeah.
Stepping through the tight streets of the Craftsman's Court in Piker District, you begin to I'll probably imagine head back to Sugar.
As we leave the alley to Neff, if an elf about yay tall, kind of pointing there, appears, don't be startled.
All right, I'll not be startled. Sure.
As you get to the crossroads where you first met up with Erla's people, you see Garrett sat on a wall, swinging his legs backwards and forwards.
Well then.
Found him.
Said you might have a lead. The night is young. We have somewhere to be this evening, but where do you think this frog is at?
So about that.
He scratches his chin for a moment and begins to glance around.
Issue is with Frug. This is probably not the best place to talk. Their walls have ears, and perhaps somewhere not close by the Craftsman's Court.
Understood. Well,
Good.
Desmond is going to look down like he's thinking about the time. How long do we have to be before we have to be back with the other associate?
What's it, like lunchtime round about now?
I would say so.
We got like 12 hours. We got loads of time.
Yeah. What
Oh.
if we went back to the folly, got Neff settled in, and we know there's places there we can talk without being disturbed?
That's true. That's probably a good idea.
That's a great idea. I love it. I love how shit just works out. So, with that, you all begin to make the journey back to Parker District towards the Baron's Folly. I'm not going to describe anything because we all know what Piker District's like. We all know what Lower Streets is like. Oh, and of course, we all know what the Baron's Folly is like. So what I am going to do, though, is call a very quick pee break and a refill a clock.
Yes!
But before I do that, I need to grab that there. Cheers, does. Appreciate it. Alright. We will be right back in a moment. Good shit. Not how I was expecting that to go, to be honest with you. But this is indeed...
For the record, we don't enjoy killing your NPCs, but we do it when we have to.
I'll be right back.
Back.
Welcome back. I am back too.
I'm back. Oh,
Welcome back.
Tar.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I think all three of the those NPCs, I'd like to hope I stuck to their personality traits. Yerla, stoic, ignorant, headstrong.
Absolutely ignorant. She has no idea what she doesn't know.
No. Erden, pervert, uppity, and ideals of grandeur. And then you've got Rurik, who was, steadfast, honourable, but
Simple, but
simple. Yeah. Yeah. That was good. Tension mounted for a moment, I'm not gonna lie.
fair.
I was expecting us, when just the way that it was set up, that we were going to have to take somebody down.
Yep. Yeah. If it wasn't for the de-escalation, that would have probably burst out into a big fight.
And it just felt like to me like Desmond was ready to bust some heads.
I, for one, loved the Desmond show.
Welcome back. Look forward to seeing how you, what happens between Ayla and Rurik. It's going to be a Highlander moment.
You know where I'm going with that?
Nope.
You lock the two people who hate each other in a room,
Mm-hmm.
and they come out like, yeah, we want to get married.
Oh,
It's a dwarven marriage. Let's go.
I don't think that's going to be the result of that.
I think we'll give Rurik a lead pipe to balance the iron hand. Just to keep it fair.
Yeah, it's that's very much a Highlander. There can be only one.
See, I picture it like those bum fights videos. Just put them in an area even and just let them go at each other.
Yep.
Give Rourke the rock biter, let her have her weapon, just let them go at it till one of them's done. 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Oh dear.
Depending on the timeline, we could have that the underground fight arena.
Oh, yeah! Oh, that'd be so good.
Whatever it was Cypher.
No.
Sorry,
this
this
fight
is
was
summoning demons.
Dear me. Fenrol, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. You've caught us just on the back end of a brief break. So perfect timing. All right. So with that then, are we all back? Are we all good?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just had to make some tea.
Ooh, nice. All right. So with you all making your way back to the Folly, Desmond, Vanya, Reza, you take Neff on a little bit of a tour just of the building and the outer storehouse. obviously not showing him anything that you don't want him to see. At this point, it'd be past midday. Garrett, Cypher, you are with Falco in the main tavern area of the Baron's Folly. Having spent the last 15 to 20 minutes discussing the return of your contractees. Falco, having the 5 individuals depart from the Folly, Falco turns round and looks at you both. So, 20,
Paid in silver, is it?
21 barrels, that's, silver. Aye.
They
Oh,
did a
fuck.
great job. Well done.
I have to say, I'm surprised they pulled it off. And Garrett's drumming his fingers on the deck table in front of him.
Hey, you're you and me both, and hey, I mean they've come back with a few interesting details on stuff. You know, do you want to send them out to get more barrels? Maybe.
Not at 10 silver a barrel, I don't.
All right, well, look, shall we at least go and have a quick look while we've got a moment, just to make sure, because it's just been dumped out in the courtyard.
By all means, lead on, Falco.
Sure. As Falco leads Garrett and Cypher out into the courtyard, the Desmond, Reza, Vanya, along with Neff, would probably return at the same point. So you all meet outside the Folly as Falco walks up to this covered wagon. All right, here we go. 21 barrels. He begins to heft one of the barrels out and drops it onto the cobbles below. Anyone got a crowbar or something? Something that's not gonna. If I use my knife, I'm probably gonna snap the damn thing trying to get this lid off.
Oh, I've got one for you. I thought, I got this a long time ago, and I thought I was never gonna get to use this. And she goes, she pushes Falco aside, and she whips out her crowbar and tries to start cranking it.
Did you
Wait
just
a minute.
have that in a dress? What?
Wait, Falco, did you pay them without inspecting the contents first to make sure it was actually...
I mean, I told them to bring back. I'm just double checking that. We've got what. As he's talking, Vanya, you burst the top off the barrel.
And she moves on to the next one because she is in it.
All right.
She is busting all the tops off of them.
Oh yeah,
Garrett's
they were
arm
left in the
flies
cellar.
out and he-
My bad.
Yeah.
So this is actually in the cellar. You're right. You guys took them to the cellar. So this is actually in the cellar of the Folly, not outside on the wagon. So yeah. So Vanya, you're going through in the cellar, popping the tops off
And
the barrels.
we'll say we left Neff with Julian getting a free drink and a meal. Because we don't want him
Perfect.
in the cellar, probably.
Yeah.
Desmond will stay where Neff's at.
Okay. So as Vanya's going around popping the tops off these barrels, the rest of you begin to, along with Falco, lean over and look inside. And what you see on the top is, it is a powder, absolutely a powder, but it's not black. It's white, like flour.
Reza looks up at Falco and kind of tilts
Oh!
her head.
That's That's interesting. Perhaps it's a different, a new one.
Yes. Yeah, perhaps. And Cypher licks his finger,
Yep.
puts it in the flour,
Yep.
gives it a wiggle,
Yep.
plonks it in his mouth. He goes,
It's not
delicious."
flour. It's bone
What
meal.
is it salt? Oh, it's bone meal, is it?
Yeah. It's just powdered bone.
Okay, it's actually to Cypher's like, and he's like, oh, actually, it's pretty good. Does it again.
Absolutely. Of course flour would be worth something. They're not getting flour. Fuck that. They can have powdered bone. And there's a reason. As Falco's like, no, that's shit. And he begins to burrow his hand through to the bottom. And he's like, oh, no, hang on, look. And his arm's probably about halfway down. It's half and half. Maybe. There's a wooden plate on the bottom. Something underneath all this bone. Or this powder.
Do we have? Can you just go get us another like an empty barrel or something?
Falco will roll an empty barrel along. And I would imagine that the idea is to empty the bone meal out of this barrel into the other one to check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you do so, eventually you get to the point where there is almost at the very bottom of this barrel a wooden lid that's been inserted into the as a separator. As you lift the separator, there are pouches of obsidian veil in the bottom. Nowhere near as much as you anticipated. Each barrel is only holding about 10 to 15 small pouches of veil. Or at least, some of the barrels that you check. Some have got less, some have got none at all and completely empty. But you've got a lot of bone meal.
Guys, Vanya's looking around. What, is this what we were expecting?
It's certainly not what we paid for.
So, looking at how much they actually got, how many full barrels of obsidian veil?
You'd probably be able to fill a single barrel with the amount of obsidian veil that's collected from the bottom of each barrel.
So, and how many barrels did we pay them for?
21. Isn't that right, Falco?
Falco scratches his head. Aye. Yep.
Well, it looks like they owe us some free labor then.
Quite a bit of free labor by this reckoning.
Indeed, they're quite indebted to us now.
Yeah, something doesn't add up. I'm not very good at math, but I don't think this adds up.
I think Garrett had an aneurysm. He's just kind of standing there.
Now I'm just calculating how much sweat I can extract from 5 contractors. Or how much flesh to remove.
I'm liking now in chat, like Durs and Raybon, like, oh shit. Yes. So at this point, Falco's got his arms crossed, like, aye, that's they may have to do a few more jobs for a definite to. I'll orders unclear, I guess.
Well, more jobs will pay us back.
What if they run?
Then they'd be dead.
Then the next group of contractors will be sent out to hunt them down.
Ooh, I like that better.
If we catch one, can I have one?
What, like a pet?
No, no. I mean, you know, just in case, because this has got me thinking. Like, what if they create a different version of this drug? I'm gonna need it to test on someone.
At this, Falco starts wheeling the new barrel that he picked up full of bone meal back to its original place. But as he spins the barrel across the cobbles of the basement, there is a slight gap in the bottom. So there's just this white powder of bone meal just spread, leaking across the floor as he does. Like, oh, for fuck's sake! Are we keeping all of this bone meal?
Well, do you think Francis could make like a broth out of it or something?
You can definitely pat a broth out.
Aye,
Put it in the bread too.
Hey, bone bread? Really? Alright, fuck it. He leans down, grabs a piece of linen, soaks it in some water, and just slaps it to the side of the barrel to try and contain the leak. What are we going to do with 21 barrels of fucking bone meal? That's a lot of
20.
bread. 20.
20 barrels of bone meal. We'll send it to Irla.
Hey, do you know what?
Bone meal is a very good fertilizer.
I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. Go on.
I am not sure if I actually know in character that they made a deal with like farmers in Momstown. That's what I'm stopping. I can't remember if I knew that part.
We weren't exactly private about it when we got back and talked to everybody.
Yeah. We had a conversation. We told everybody about it.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy that sells mushrooms and veg.
Do you think we could trade this to enrich the soil for a discount on the food?
Trade of a product? Could do.
Maybe.
Non-slug food.
And we've also said we would try and get Ella and her people food. Like, they seem worse off, honestly, than most folks in lower streets.
Yes, but she's also so ignorant about what she doesn't know that she's a problem.
She seemed a bit proud of her ignorance, actually.
Yes, which is also a problem.
Maybe we give Rurik 2 lead pipes.
Anyway, Falco.
Aye,
gather
boss.
up those people, send them back to Piker, and get me my veil.
Aye, consider it done. I'll
And
see
for
to it now.
every full barrel of veil, and we will be checking its veil this time, won't we, Falco?
Aye, absolutely. I'll be making sure that those things are full to the fucking brim.
And make them aware of my displeasure over bringing us
Aye,
fake merchandise.
I'll make sure I work them to the bone. Don't you worry about that.
We don't need any more bone. We've plenty.
Congratulations, Balon, Rags, Shax, Lysander, and Chud have just earned a level of exhaustion for their next session.
And the Blackthorn's displeasure.
Dear me. Bone meal broth ale, that's not a bad idea. So with that, Falco shoots out of the basement to start planning. Leaving you four back in the basement.
Let's get the veil that we have in the Undercroft away from casual observers.
Okay.
You mean
That's like
Francis? Because he'll probably put it in something.
Yes, the last thing we want to do is poison the fucking Market Row and lower streets.
All right.
Cypher's got to knock on the basement door and be like, "Hey, you busy?"
The door, for a moment, starts to shudder ever so slightly, as if trying to open, but not enough force to fully open it.
We nearly had it. Cypher opens the door.
There is the ethereal form of Timothy. Hello? Hi. Trying. Can't really do the door thing just yet. It's a little tough.
Can you carry things?
Yeah, look,
Can you
look. You see him reach down and pick up a very small rock from the floor and lift it up. Not easily. It seems like he's trying to pick up the weight of the entire fucking world with this. Like, yeah, look, I can do it.
Never mind. He looks at the rest of the group and just kind of shrugs. He'll get there. He'll get there.
You spend the next sort of 20 minutes or so shifting the barrels. In fact, is it just the barrel, really, I would imagine?
Yeah, just the one, eh?
The one barrel. So not even 20 minutes. You end up rolling it down the stairs into the Undercroft and locking it away. Off from prying eyes and potential fingers that would use it as a condiment in their cooking. Because that would be entertaining. From there, in the Folly, Desmond, what have you been up to with Neff?
Neff is gonna just have some actual food, like a bowl of whatever Francis made, and a
Snail
mug
soup
of ale, and then water. Just trying to make sure that he is going strong and generally happy.
I dare say that this is certainly unexpected. Having a rather large establishment such as this is, well, no offense, Desmond, but I wasn't fully convinced at first.
Yes, well, the whole thing about not knowing who we are, like we were legitimately surprised. It seems like everyone else knows.
We don't tend to get out much, and we try and keep ourselves to ourselves for, obvious reasons. Don't really want the wardens to, latch on, but, well, last operation went south. You asked about the gnome?
Yes, Frug. I'm concerned if Frug has gone rogue or if something has happened to him.
Honestly, he was originally in charge of planning a few of the excursions. He had a quick-thinking mind, and it was him who put Hierla on this path of uprising of the craftspeople. So he was the brains behind her rather straightforward nature. With him gone, she took his words, his plans, and, well, was basically a bull in a ceramic pottery store with it.
Well, what do you think? Do you think that he fucked off, or do you think someone fucked him off?
I am of the belief that, well, the other two of Yerla's associates are a tad more bloodthirsty. They have lost family and friends and others to this district, and therefore they want to see it burn. And I have a sneaking suspicion, again, no proof, but I do believe that the others may have either removed Frug permanently, or at least scooped him and his closest friends. Now, those friends were also forge workers. 3 of them gnomes. One, well, it doesn't really matter, but yes, I'm of the belief that Frug and his companions have been removed so that they can push Hierla in a certain direction.
Well, if they're forge workers, then they're probably not just dispensing with them. I would think that they'd move them somewhere where they'd be useful for their plans. Do you know if any of these other compatriots have some place they could put people away? You said you're an accountant. You must have some kind of an idea of where they keep their holdings.
Well, was an accountant. Now more of a advisor to Hierla, but no, they dealt with a gentleman. I don't know the details, but he came from out of the district, sort of to the west. Typically wore a brown robe. Quite tall. Yes, apart from that, not entirely certain of the details. Just I know that the contact that they've been having words with came from the west. Session Zero Gaming, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Give us a second. We're deep in the RP. So with that, the Tiefling takes a swig from the ale offered and exhales before looking towards you, Desmond.
Did he ever have other hooded individuals with him? Like small procession or something like that?
The Tiefling scratches his chin for a moment.
Well, to be honest with you, I know they came in with a wagon once, but they moved said wagon further into the Piker district, and the associate, the contact, he remained with the others, so if that helps, perhaps. Not entirely certain. No.
Desmond's thinking about like the layout of the Piker, and if that would further in would put him with like Leandrin's group.
Do you think it would?
I kind of feel like it might.
I think you might be on the right path there, Desmond.
Well, we were going to go see a guy about a thing. Maybe we'll just bring it up with them. Of course, for that, I'd rather you stay here where it's warm and safe, and I don't have to prevent knives from hitting you in the back. it's
Neff.
pre-existing business, you understand. But
yes.
it might be a lead.
Well, if there's anything else that crosses your mind, then I'll do my best to help where I can. But my main goal and objective is to, make sure that you are who you say you are, and make sure that Hila is not walking into another shitfest that's going to backfire and perhaps even take her other hand. And,
Oh, well, if that's all right, yes, then you do that. I'm not particularly worried. I think you'll find that we are who we say we are. We don't misrepresent ourselves at all.
So I can see.
Well, enjoy your meal. I don't want it to get cold while you're talking, and I'll just be here while the others are scurrying about, and then we'll take care of our business later this evening.
It's at that moment where, as you depart, Julian, being the barkeeper, kind of judged the situation, and he takes one of the more top shelf items and slides it in front of Neff. Now, good sir, welcome to the Baron's Folly. It seems that you've had somewhat of a rough day with the proprietors of our establishment here on the house. Desmond, you kind of get the impression that Julian's was caught on to treat this guy with a little bit of hospitality. Absolutely.
He's buttering him. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would also probably say it would most likely be at this point where Cypher, Reza, Vanya, Garrett, you would... are you staying down in the Undercroft, or are you heading back up?
No, we'll head up. As to not look like what's in the basement, sort of thing.
Sure. As you exit the kitchen, Francis is there. He's got... he's still not managed to get this large forge crucible into the kitchen yet. So the back door to the kitchen is currently open, with a multitude of logs thrown underneath this giant crucible, and he's currently stirring it round. The remains of the giant snail that was brought in bubbling away.
So he's using it even though it's not entirely in the kitchen?
Absolutely. Francis Pine. Hang on before you long ago. I got them herbs. Yeah, I got a lot of them. Have you seen them down in the kitchen? Yeah. He looks towards Garrett as he's saying this.
Yes, quite the selection.
Yeah, I got a big bang. I got a couple left for you. Yeah, that's all good. Anyway, I'm cooking at the minute. If you could, just leave it to you, that'd be good. That'd be really good. Yeah.
I tell you what, Francis.
Yeah.
When you're sorting your herbs, save me any seeds that you might find.
He drops you a quizzical look before just nodding in response, a quick thumbs up, before turning his attention back to this giant crucible in this alley. It's made a makeshift tent to try and cover it from the torrential rain, or not so much torrential rain now, but the drizzle from the city. But just before anyone dives in, give us... Again, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. I will give everyone a brief rundown of our dark, very, very dark fantasy gothic world that we're running. It seems rather lighthearted at the minute. We're on a bit of a downtime. You've kind of missed the the almost potential bloodbath. But yeah, if you're if you're finding it interesting, stick around, and we'll have a little bit of a chat towards the end. I'll give everyone a brief rundown on what Pariahs is all about, and what we've got. So, but basically, just as a very brief thing, we've got Vanya, who is a half-elven mage of some description, unhinged mage. We've got Teresa, or Reza, as we tend to call her, who is a vampire. Desmond is our little murder marionette. Probably the best way of putting it. Yeah. Garrett, an elven, very sly, sneaky elven individual. And then last but not least, we've got Cypher, who is a changeling. So this is a very morally grey campaign that we run. There is no saving damsels in distress. There is no murdering goblins to save the villagers. This is very much a campaign of them trying to survive. But Viking James TV, thank you for the follow. Right, with that said, I'll carry on a little later. We've just saved some drug addicts, that's true, by blowing them up. But anyway, Garrett, anything you wish to say further to the chef of the Baron's Folly, Francis?
Are you sure that snail meat is edible?
I mean, no one's died yet. I mean, it tastes pretty good.
And with that, he takes a ladle, scoops out a large chunk of this giant snail meat, and offers it in your direction, Garrett.
Yeah, give it a try. It's pretty good.
Why not?
Constitution saving throw.
This is Francis we're talking about. No Constitution saving throw needed. This snail has been boiled to perfection. The amount of well, not so much salt, because salt's a rare commodity in this city, but from the herbs that he's gathered and purchased, along with the various other ingredients in his kitchen, it could be classed as a work of art, at least in lower streets. The snail meat is soft, squishy, tender. Still a trace amount of its viscous slime that coated the entire thing when it was brought in, but it is more than edible, and with the root vegetables added, pretty damn tasty.
You know what, Francis? That
Yeah.
pot of yours is worth every penny.
I mean, I'm not sure what they sort of melted in it before, but you get someone gives the food a bit of a metallic flavour, and it's pretty good. It just enters the job. Yeah.
And before it's
Make
lead
sure-
poisoning.
Make sure Cypher and Desmond try it.
So with that, we'll take another spoonful or a ladle out and offer it to Cypher and Desmond as they're walking through the kitchen.
Well, it'd be rude not to accept, right? Right.
You first. Cypher pushes Desmond. You first.
Desmond's gonna glance back at Cypher, like, and then he's gonna just partake of the stew.
Snail stew. Again, it's yeah. I'll let you describe. It's good for what it is. It's better than rat.
That is surprising. Actually, this Cypher, this is way better than spiders.
Wait, it's better than spiders?
Better
Okay,
than
hold on.
spiders.
Hold on, I'll be the judge of that. Cypher takes a big spoonful, starts eating soup. Then puts soup in a bowl. And walks away. Right, it's better than spiders.
Maybe if it sprinkles some spiders on it, it'd be even better. Who knows?
I mean, I can let the roast to come over a fire, I guess, crispy, legs crisp up nice. Just over the top. Garnish.
No, add a bit of crunch. Add a bit of
Garnish.
crunch, yes.
God damn it. Anyway, moving away from whatever this is, you would probably step back into the tavern, Cypher, your bowl of soup, snail soup in hand. What's the plan going forward at this point?
Are we at the table where we normally are?
Back in the far right-hand side, in the slightly darkened corner of the Baron's Folly, you're all sat there.
And Neff is over at the bar.
It would be the bar, yes.
Okay. Well, I was talking to Neff a little. I feel like this might be an occasion of some of the people who are trying to get Irla to be more of a thorn side of the wardens for their own personal business have potentially contracted the men we are to meet with tonight to keep Frug and his associates from being the discretion part of the equation. So it may very well be we're going to meet people who have sequestered the people that have been removed from Erla's circle.
So you think the road has something to do with this?
I think that they might very well be keeping Frug and his associates somewhere, or have dispensed with them for people who are part of this, the Iron Hands.
Oh, so they're paid, not having a personal stake.
Essentially just so that he's not there to advise Erla to not be stupid.
Why would the road want to meddle in that kind of business? Well, I guess money is money if they were hired to do something.
I think they've been paid to do it. That's how they do everything.
I'm well aware, yeah.
Their job is to transport goods, whether it be drugs, food, or people, I suppose.
Yes.
Wait, so this gnomish guy is the brains of the operation?
Yeah, I think that he is kind of like how with Leandrin and Killian, one was like the spirit and the public face, and then one is the brains. I think it's something similar to that arrangement.
So what if while we're at the little this little soiree, why don't we see if he's still alive and if we can get him back?
Well,
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
it could be a bit tricky. Because if the road has been paid to do something, they don't really talk about their clients or their jobs. So, if we want to stay on their good side, which I really think we want to do, because that could be incredibly helpful, we're going to have to be quite savvy about it.
You're not wrong. It will require a bit more of a delicate touch than I have.
Are you saying that you guys need a face of the group to lead some delicate persuasions and suggestions to, maybe have a conversation with...
Anya, do you
With
even
me?
know what's going on tonight?
Well, I know we're meeting up with individuals, and apparently they get paid, and they're not gonna talk. From what you just said, but I've got a way with words.
Do you know what we want to get out of tonight?
I never know what you want to get out of things, but
I think, Vanya, that your particular skill set, though it could be valuable in this particular instance, may not be exactly what we need.
wow, that was really harsh, Reza. You could have put that in a nicer tone.
That was me being nice! What? And she takes out her notebook and starts writing.
Vanya smirks a little bit because she knows she's hit a nerve. Okay, well, if you don't want me to use, my skill set that I have. What would you like me to do?
I'm not your boss.
I wasn't asking you, Reza.
Oh, then why are you staring at me like that?
I was trying to see what you were writing.
It's none of your business.
Garrett?
So, I'm not going to say it's completely off the table, but we'll keep the magic option in our back pockets.
I will say, if we can just get them to confirm nor deny our suspicions, when we return to Erla, we could just present her with, hey, your people are snakes and operating behind your back. And that would be an opportunity to maybe use Vanya's methods.
I am, however, worried about the two lieutenants, for want of a better word, to Yala. While I was on the roof, I saw their conversation. I couldn't make out the words, but their body language and gestures were very, very telling. They do not want peace.
Well, those would be the two.
I believe they will have to be removed. But Yerla and Rurik, I would like the three groups to be able to work together, but I don't know if they'll be able to.
Well, if we get Frug back with Erla somehow, and then we have, of course, Killian, who will do whatever gets him coin, and Erla with Frug might be convinced that a death battle between her and Rurik is probably not the smartest thing. But worst case scenario, we end up with Killian and one of the others basically taking over all of the operations of those two.
That Neff's a smart chap.
True.
He seems to have a calmer head than anyone else in that group.
He
Well,
was
I'm
also the
sorry.
one who, he was the one that also mentioned that he didn't want to say anything where we were, but once we were back here, he said that he thought there might be something underhanded going on. This is why I'm thinking that her other lieutenants might be puppeting her around for their purposes. Go ahead, I'll take a beat.
At this point, Reza's just currently scribbling in her notebook. She just had to BRB.
Oh. Well, that's what I was thinking, so... But, admittedly, not a fight, I can't.
That's my problem with her. She's obviously being played. She doesn't realize it. She's too ignorant of whatever's going on around her, other than her own agenda, single-mindedly. She thinks killing one warden, wasting 30 lives to do it with daggers, is a great gesture. Like, I know we don't want to just pick fights where fights are being picked, but she's a loose cannon and she's clueless.
Only everyone had love in their hearts.
Vanya?
Hmm?
Never mind. No.
Then we wouldn't
need
all
you.
be fighting. Just if everybody just took one day and just hugged a person.
I hug people every time I eat.
Can't
That
actually
line.
argue with.
Yeah.
can't
She's out
argue with
line,
that
but she's not
statement.
wrong.
And Reza
Hmm.
goes back to scribbling in her notebook. But her pen strokes seem very like strong.
Vanya's gonna lean over and kind of whisper. I get excited when I'm doing my research too. You might want to let up a little bit. I've ripped the paper before.
Reza just looks at her, writes one more word, and puts the book away.
So when are we leaving?
We need enough time to meet with Killian and then get to his contact at the canals. So I'd rather be early than late.
I'll probably say then, at this point, you've got a couple of hours before you need to make your way back into the Piker district. In fact, more than a couple of hours, to be honest. So, if there is anything in particular you think you may need for this excursion back into Piker to have a friendly discussion with the Silent Road, you would have time to do any shopping that you need, or again visit anyone that you feel you would want to. It's probably a good point there for us to knock it on the head. I think that's a pretty natural point for us to call it.
More and more intrigue.
Yeah, it's a spiral, a hole that keeps getting deeper and deeper.
And potential backstory.
There's a lot of twists and turns and winding vines that wrap around what's going on. It's definitely intriguing, especially with how you're going about doing it. I believe Vanya has some homework.
Love it. I love a good homework session.
Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I have to. Is that me? You just want me to say yes or explain what my homework was?
I mean, if you're aware, then you know that's. I'm good with that.
I have to get my group back together, my Red Cross group, because Killian didn't want to be my point man, so
He hates people.
that kind of slowed the progress down of my mass antidotes, and now I've got to figure that out.
So yeah, anything anyone else wishes to bring forth before we close out today's session?
Goodbye, chat.
Goodbye, chat, and thank you, Raiders, for sticking around.
Absolutely.
And as always, see you next time on Pariahs.
Love it. All right, everyone. Thank you very, very much for joining us for episode 44. Holy crap! No, 45 now. 45, episode 45 of Pariahs. So, in regards to the questions asked earlier, or at least the, what are we all about? What's Pariahs? Pariahs is our little campaign set in the Grim Hollow setting, which is a third-party dark Gothic fantasy setting. Well, not so much Gothic as such, but a dark fantasy setting by a company called Ghostfire Games. God damn it, brain not working. This campaign's focused around a single city called Nov Astoya, which we currently have this map here for our city, and it is huge. It is a giant metropolis that houses, hundreds of thousands, potentially, over 1 million people. It's run by a cabal of vampires known as the Crimson Court, who live up here in the northeast of the city, but they don't really care about what goes on, considering the fact that most of this campaign so far has been focused around the western side, which is basically the slums of the city. The party own a tavern called the Baron's Folly, which is where originally they worked for the Folly. Over the sessions, they've now reached a point where they own it. And obviously with each character being a pariah, something different, vampire, a murder mannequin, a changeling, so on and so forth, they want to hide who they are, because the wider world, if it gets out, there's a vampire on the loose, or a failed experimental changeling thing running around, most people would be terrified of that. So yes, it's very much a campaign of subtlety, subterfuge, deceit, of them trying to find their place in the world. But also now they've reached this position of being, owners of not just a tavern, but this, a large district. They've started looking further afield. And what's happened tonight is, the slowly closing finale of them trying to take over this district known as the Piker District. They've already killed one of the gangs by killing the leader and scuppering his drugs trade. The other gang, that was more of a group of extortionists and ruffians. They've corralled them and basically said, no, you work for us now. And the last group, the Iron Hands, led by the dwarf Yeel Iron Hands, and they are now, seeming to try and get them under their fold. But that also then branches out into, the issues of this Silent Road, who is a smuggling company, and it's just spiders out. There's so much, so much stuff. And that's before we even get into all of the little nitty gritty details of what the characters want to do for their backstory. And it's been a thing. It's been a campaign. We're 45 episodes in, each episode being like, between 3.5 to 4.5, 5 hours, and they're still on level 6. So that's Pariahs. Then on Saturdays we have the Chronicles of Novostoya, which is the jobs that these guys put out. We run a campaign on Saturday that is, sort of a drop-in, drop-out style campaign for people who, are doing the jobs from the main party, which has been, it's an interesting endeavour. So yeah, basically in a compressed nutshell of, literally 7 days worth of playtime. That's it. That's Pariahs. That's the world we're in. So yeah, if you like dark fantasy, subterfuge, RP over straight up murder hobo, that's kind of what we provide. But when it is time for murder hobo, it tends to turn into an absolute massacre, an abattoir of gore and whatnot. So yes, that's what more can be said. Anyway, on that note, I will close us out with that. Thank you all for joining us. It is appreciated. Thank you for the follows from Danny Kitty 414, Viking James TV, Fenroll, appreciated. Of course, Session Zero Gaming coming in with the raid. That is much appreciated. And yeah, Scobsu with the 57-month resub. with that, though, thank you for your time. Look forward to seeing you all on Saturday, if not Sunday, either for Chronicles of Novostoya or Pariahs. We'll try and find someone to raid. Ta-ta for now.